College Station. And the cadets already a very wet crew. The 12th man today could very well be that parka that you're wearing. We'll talk more about it after we check in with our studios in New York.
Burger King College Football today. Burger King, where you get great taste and great value every day. Get your burger's worth. Now from New York, John Saunders and Todd Blackledge.
And we'll get you out to Texas A&M in just a moment, but at 2:30 Eastern Time, second half of our doubleheader. Colorado, the most disappointing team in college football. They'll face Nebraska. They could change things with a win today.
Well, they better find a way to stop the run a little better. In their 5 losses this year, Colorado has given up 240 yards a game on the ground. Won't be any easier today because Nebraska is the best in the business in running the football. One of the guys responsible for paving the way up front, All-American offensive lineman Aaron Taylor, knows the Colorado team can't be taken lightly.
We know Colorado was aiming at us at the beginning of the year. They said a few things in the paper about, you know, that this is going to be their big game of the year, and they haven't had a good a season as they wanted to, and they know if they can come in and knock us off, you know, it'll make their year and get them into a bowl game in Hawaii.
Taylor and the rest of the Husker offense led by quarterback Scott Frost. We'll take a look at his tumultuous career at halftime. We'll also take a look at some great players on the top teams who are not as well known as their superstar teammates, but just as important to their team's success.
All right, that's all coming up at 2:30 Eastern Time. Nebraska still with their eyes on a national championship, ranked number 2. They'll face Colorado. That's coming up. Then at 1:30 tomorrow Eastern Time, regional coverage. Most of you will see Penn State against Michigan State. Others get Georgia and Georgia Tech. Check local listings for the game in your area and on pay-per-view. Then at 4:30 Eastern Time tomorrow, it's the Skins game with Tiger Woods, Tom Lehman, Marco Mira, and David Duval. That continues at 3:30 Eastern Time on Sunday with the final 9 holes. All this week on ABC Sports. An ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Coming up next, Texas A&M.
Traders. ABC Sports presentation of college football brings us to College Station, Texas, and we get set for one of the oldest rivalries in all of college football. The Longhorns of Texas against the Aggies of Texas A&M. A dismal season by Longhorn standards at 4-6, but the Aggies right now riding high at 8-2. Hi, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We get set for a pretty good football game, but what a difference a year can make. This time last year, it was Texas on its way to meet Nebraska in the Big 12 championship. This year, it's the Aggies that'll meet the number 2 Cornhuskers next week at the Alamo Dome. One constant, though, for Texas this year has been this guy, Ricky Williams, their sensational tailback, leads the country right now in rushing over 1,700 yards on the ground, and he's only 11 points away from being the top scorer in the nation as well. He needs some help today, Gary Danielson. I don't know if he's going to get help from his quarterbacks, the weather, whatever. Those quarterbacks are going to play a big part because it's lousy out here right now.
It's really lousy, and I played a lot of years in a dome. They probably hope they had a dome out here today. You know, both quarterbacks have been hot. James Brown has thrown for more yards in the last 3. Brandon Stewart, not an interception in 5. But with this weather, both quarterbacks will even play a bigger part. The quarterback-center exchange on every play will be a big part of the football game. In the huddle, the quarterback will have to constantly be reminding everyone to hold on to the ball. And even though we do a lot of homework before the game, I didn't check their hand size. And that plays a big part in how well you throw the football.
So you're not giving out gloves for Christmas,
no
are you? Well, the last 2 games have gone to Texas in this series, and A&M's looking for some payback today, without a doubt. We get set for Texas A&M and Texas when we come back. Back at a rain-drenched Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. Let's find out just how bad it is and go down to Dean on the sideline.
Well, Brad, the good news is that it's miserable. It's going to get a lot worse. Right now, it's heavy rain. There's a lot of wind. There's lightning coming. And, in fact, both coaches told me before the game that they may have to take their players off the field if the referees tell them lightning is a problem. Turnovers have been a key to the seasons for both of these guys, and with the wet conditions, it could be a bigger factor. Texas A&M has been terrific. Number 3 in the country. They are plus 15 on the season. Texas stinks in this category. Only one team worse in the country. They're 111th, and they are minus 19. Texas thinks they can win if the turnover battle goes their way. I better get out of the end zone. What do you say?
Get covered up, buddy. John Makovic is covered up, and, of course, covered up with rumors on a season that's produced only 4 wins. And R.C. Slocum's troops right now at 8-2. They got a date with Nebraska next week. But in the month of November, he and his clubs have been sensational. A&M won the toss, and they defer. Texas will receive. The folks in front of us are looking in the booth and waving their hankies saying, let's play. So let's play. For the 104th time, the third longest running rivalry in all of college football is all set from Kyle Field. And that's Kyle Bryant to kick off. Line drive. It'll be taken by Clayton at the 3. Found himself an opening. Got up to about the 24-yard line. And that's where the Texas offense will go to work. For the Longhorns, the biggins up front. Bigger, their leader, his 37th straight start. Raessler, Adams, Bishop, and Humphrey round out the front 5. A couple of freshmen, Kwame Cavill and Jamel Thompson, now taking the wideout spot. Steve Bradley is the tight end. And in the backfield, Ricky Williams, we talked about, over 1,700 yards. Ricky Brown, his lead man, and James Brown. And Gary and I are hoping for the first time in the 5 times we've seen Texas in the last 3 years that he's ready to go healthy. He does have a broken bone in his left hand, however. First play of the game is Ricky Williams, and he's going nowhere against the Wrecking Crew. Not the kind of wrecking crew A&M has had in the past, but still a very, very solid defense. And here's how it looks. Crowley, the lead man, with 6 sacks up there with Hurd and Rollins. The linebacking core has got one of the greats in college football. And that's Dat Win out of Rockport, Texas, with Holdman, Driver, and Myers. Secondary can be wobbly at times. Webster and Horn, Jennings, and Cody's a big hitter at the strong safety spot. 2nd down and 10 from the 25 for the Longhorns. Movement on the right side. It appeared Jay Humphrey may have come out of his stance. And that's our first marker of the day.
I think Texas was trying to do a play where James Brown gets up at the line of scrimmage, Brad, and has 2 plays called in the huddle.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Then depending on the defense, you will either run the ball to the right or the left, because a lot of the offensive players for Texas was trying to strain their necks and ears to listen to James, and they never got it off.
You see the weather conditions have not improved, and as Dean said, they're going to get worse before it's over. 2nd down, 15. A&M thinks about a blitz. Brown's first throw of the day is complete, but it's only about a 1-yard gain. Brian White got leveled as soon as he made the catch by Shun Horn, the cornerback.
Brad, let's look at these matchups. When Texas has the football, they're going to be looking for some big plays, but they have to do it with balance. Whenever Texas has a good offensive day, they're very well balanced. And the A&M defense has to stop that super freak, Ricky James. James Brown and Ricky Williams, if they can keep them pinned in, they will have a good defensive day.
First 3rd down situation. And Brown from the shotgun on 3rd and 9. James floats one out, incomplete. It would not have been a first down had the catch been made, and the A&M defense forces a 3 and out.
The A&M defense made their name in the past. The Wrecking Crew was built upon the blitz and playing man-to-man coverage. Mike Hankiewicz, the new defensive coordinator, blitzes linebackers, but they play much more zone coverage behind it than they ever have. You saw an example of it there. 6 defenders all looking at that ball, 2 of them hitting the intended receiver.
Mark Schultes to punt for Texas inside his own 15. And Dante Hall is waiting on it, and he is one dangerous return man. And off the side of Schultes' foot with this punt. But it does take a Texas bounce and rolls down to the 39-yard line. And you see Schultes checking his hands. Everybody today, when they have their hands on the football, they're going to be wondering if they're going to be able to hold it. The Chili starting lineup up front for A&M. Ruman back in there last week for the first time after an injury. He's the leader with McKinney. They'll run that side. Hackrat, Haimuli, and Spikes. The front 5. Aaron Oliver, Leroy Hodge, and Derek Spiller, the leading receiver with touchdown catches and by yardage. Brandon Stewart, Mark Broyles, and Dante Hall, who I just mentioned, gets to start at tailback. He and Sir Parker will share that tailback duty today. It's Dante, a quick opener across the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. And he can explode on you in a hurry, averaging well over 7 yards a carry this year. Aaron Humphrey's been the most constant performer defensively in the front 4 for Texas, with Woodard, Mosier, and Bodwin. Linebacking core not as good as Texas has had in some years. Dusty Renfro, though, his first stop today will be number 100 this year with Nava and Hicks. Secondary can be had at times. Jammer and Wallace on a corner, Holmes and McGowan the safeties, and it's 2nd down and 2 as Hall got 8. Stewart to test that secondary, but he threw it over the head of Chris Cole, and that one just got away from Brandon, I think.
Brandon Stewart, very safe passing game, but you can see how well he has been taking care of the football ever since the second half of the Texas Tech game. Brandon Stewart has played like the highly recruited prospect he once was when he went to Tennessee and tried to take on Peyton Manning.
You may hear the thunder in the background, and you'll see some bolts of lightning as we go on an awful day weather-wise here in Texas. 3rd and 2. I don't know. I don't think he got it. Tiki Hardeman stopped by Woodard and company. They may have to measure this one. Very close. They needed to get across the 49, and I don't think they got there.
I don't think they did either. And the wind is a very strong wind going from right to left across your screen. And you wonder if A&M is going to want to try to go for that simply because they have the wind at their back. Too far to kick a field goal, although in warm-ups the kickers were making them from 65 yards going from right to left.
They were getting some help from that side. Here comes one of the top punters in the country, Shane Leckler, and you saw a big flash of lightning there as Leckler, averaging over 47 a pop, hit one a mile in the air. Brian White, fair catch, was a rainmaker, bringing rain down to the 12-yard line. Texas will have it back on offense when we return.
Too, when you try Chili's Ranch Hand Filet, a beautifully carved 8-ounce tenderloin, slow grilled to perfection and placed on awesome blossom strings, served with skillet potato cakes and grilled veggies, only at Chili's.
You don't need binoculars to see why Escort is so popular. It's a value so enticing, it's like getting cake with extra icing. You can get power, lots of power, power galore, to whisk down the windows and unlock the doors, adjust the side mirrors, but wait, there is more. Opt for a remote, AC, a smooth automatic, and a CD player for the music fanatic. And if that's not enough, you can get an anti-theft system to protect this good stuff. The buck starts here for Escort thrills, somewhat higher, loaded to the gills.
Let's see. It says here you're lazy, highly unmotivated. You have a problem with authority.
Yeah, I've got two references that proves that.
Well, the only thing I can say is, you demand. You demand.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Technically, I can't give you a raise yet.
You're right, policy, schmolicy.
Undefeated Nebraska puts their national title hopes on the line. They play Colorado in a key Big 12 showdown next.
Well, the morning after the tradition of the bonfire here at College Station before the Texas A&M Texas game. I've had some mornings I felt like that.
I guess the other tradition is no one sits down around here.
No, they don't. Everybody's standing.
How much is it for a ticket to actually sit down?
Twice as much as the standing room only we have right now. 70,000 on hand. Second series for Texas. Ricky Williams trying to take it wide, and they run him down after only about a yard. Rich Cody came up from the secondary, the strong safety. He's the top tackler back there, and he made the hit.
You know, you look at this Texas offense, James Brown is really the guy that makes it go. He went through a stretch against Colorado, Baylor, and Texas Tech where he threw 8 interceptions, very much unlike James Brown, but lately he has been very hot. In fact, in the last 3 games, he has thrown for more yards than he had in the previous 7 games.
Second down and 8.
And he's finally healthy.
Exactly. From the 14. Ricky Williams. Head on again. Collision with Trent Driver, the linebacker. Texas A&M say they have a football, but it was blown dead before that.
You can see this game plan already taking place and evolving for Texas, as Dat Nguyen is an undersized inside linebacker, and Texas is going to try to run right at him and get one of their big offensive linemen. That time it was Raisler on Nguyen. Now that is a lot easier said than done. This guy sometimes is unblockable with tremendous instincts.
3rd down and 4. 2 tight end set. And they whistle this one dead.
Looks like everyone was moving that time.
It gives you a look at the conditions in College Station, Texas today. And as Barry said, our camera guy up in the booth, they've downgraded the forecast. I love that line. Downgraded the forecast. So it's only going to get worse. A team that scores first, often, early, whatever, may have a huge advantage.
Texas needs to survive this first quarter. When the fans are into the game, when you're going against the wind, everybody's emotions are at their highest.
And with a penalty now, it's 3rd and 9. And Brown will work from the shotgun draw play. Nothing doing for the fullback, Ricky Brown. Rocky Bernard made the hit. Dat Nguyen helped out, and the crowd is into it.
The nickel defense for A&M has played some good running quarterbacks this year. Kansas State with Bishop gave them a lot of problems. I'm wondering if we will see James Brown try to get out of the pocket a bit, because I think he has to become a big factor in this football game.
This is a tough spot for Schultes now, because if it's possible, the rain is just doubled. His first punt went off the side of his foot, and he was worried about handling the snap. He's really going to have to take a look at this one. He's got to be a receiver first and a kicker second. He handled it. Not a good kick again, though. It does take a Texas bounce, and it's going to go out across midfield. That's not bad.
That's one of those reasons I like to put 2 guys back there in bad weather to catch those bad punts.
Are you going to fix that fence today?
Yep.
1948 was the first year for Ford F-Series, and after 50 years, there are more tough F-Series trucks still on the road today than any other make. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough for 50 years strong.
It's been 50 years, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's about time you fixed that fence.
Yeah.
They were really growing up fast. Too fast. All Kelly talked about was going to high school, and all I could think about was paying for college. Sure, I played around with a few mutual funds, but I was no expert. So I started talking to someone who could help, a broker at Dean Witter.
We must plan for our client's future as if it were our own.
Funny, kids think their parents always have the right answers. I'm just making sure I do.
We measure success, one investor at a time.
Trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. 2 hours of pushing broom buys an 8 or 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Chili's Grill and Bar, home of the Big Mouth Burgers. By Smith Barney, a member of the Travelers Group. Smith Barney, they make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you, fresh beer tastes better. Well, they're trying to cover up the football.
Look at you.
Mom told me there'd be days like this.
Yeah.
It is awful. That's a shot
you
up to the booth.
Finally get on national television, no one can see you.
Just as well. From the 49-yard line, Texas A&M now with its second offensive possession.
We literally can barely see the field.
That's true. And the fumble.
That's that
covered
center
by Stewart.
exchange. You know, you can almost keep stats on the quarterback center exchange today. That's almost a completion every time you catch it. Let's look at this matchup between A&M's offense against that Texas defense. No turnovers. That has been the key to the season this year for A&M. When they don't do it, they're good this year, and that's the job today. And for this Texas defense, they're 102nd in the nation against the rush. They have to move in a lot of guys near the line of scrimmage and stop the run.
2nd down, 11. The give is to Dante Hall. And Texas stretches it out nicely defensively. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. That's it. Donald McCowan from the secondary made the stop. And if you're experiencing some breakups in our transmission from College Station, folks, I'm surprised you got a picture at all, because this is one of the all-time worst days I think I've seen for a football game.
Let's give a great salute to our crew just getting this thing ready and getting it on the air today.
Yeah, we got some guys we'd like to get in undercover too, camera-wise, and we may have to do that at times, so bear with us. 3rd down and 10. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Ball hit the backfield and leveled. Lost a couple. Nava, the linebacker, the second man, put him down, and it's 3 and out for the Aggies.
It was also Tony Holmes that time. The guy played a lot of corner, lately strong safety coming from the right side of the formation. He's going to force Hall to make a move right there, and then it's cleaned up by the linebackers, Anthony Hicks and Brandon Nava. It's a lot easier to play defense on a wet field like this. It's just very tough for those smallish type running backs that A&M is featuring to get going and make those moves that Hall is so well known for.
Leckler to punt. Another beauty. Ryan White lets it go, and they can't quite get to it.
Well, that was a good exchange for Texas. They got the ball back out to the 20.
Our guys are doing their best. We'll be back with 7:44 left first quarter.
To you, it looks like this. To a car thief, it looks like this. And to our Ford Motor Company engineers, it looks like one of the most powerful anti-theft devices ever. Only this key sends an electronic code to the engine before it will ever start. So it looks like your new Mercury Sable will be just where you parked it. Ford. Quality is job one.
You are only human. You have a career, a family,
a life. And you have plans for all of them. To make your plans reality, you would have to do things not humanly possible.
Because the tireless pursuit of investment opportunities is not a job for one person.
It is a job for the best and brightest minds in the investment world.
Working night and day.
Helping you be even more confident about managing your money. No wonder thousands of employers, advisors, and financial institutions
have joined millions of individuals in putting their trust in Fidelity.
People with careers
and families
and plans.
People just like you.
Today we look back through 51 years of college football tradition as Smith Barney remembers the 1946 Cotton Bowl, Texas and Missouri. Southwest Conference champion Texas romps over the Tigers 40-27. One of the great individual performances of all time. Longhorn standout Bobby Lane accounts for all of Texas scoring, rushing for 3 touchdowns. He passed for 2, catching 2, and kicking 4 point afters. A feat that stands as an NCAA bowl record for the most points in a game.
I always liked that he was a Detroit Lion, of course, and I beat his record to one was interception. So it was kind of...
Folks, we understand that you may have lost your picture. Stay with us. We'll give you the call of the game as Ricky Williams sweeps the left side, broke 1 tackle, and finally gets a gain of about 5 yards. And at times, we're going to come in and out with our picture in your home, but just stay with us, and we'll keep you updated on the Longhorns and the Aggies. No score with 7:28 and the clock running remaining in the first quarter. And Texas has finally inched it across its own 25-yard line. In a battle of field position in horrible conditions, although the rain has lightened up just a little bit as we approach the 7-minute mark in the quarter. It's 2nd down and 5. 2 tight end set and a wide out to each side for James Brown. He flips it out to the left side to completion, but only about a 2-yard pickup to Kwame Cavill, the true freshman wideout, and it'll bring up 3rd down and short.
Texas has been with the muddying of the field, the slipperiness of the field between the hash marks. The first 2 play calls of this drive have been wide. A wide pass to the outside and a sweep to the outside. John Mackovic judging all the conditions, and that's what you have to do when you call plays. You have to take everything into account.
Both wide receivers come out to the right side on a quick count. Flags are down as Ricky Williams goes out near a 1st down at the 30-yard line, but again, penalty markers on the play. Rich Cody is the guy that made the stop.
The wide receiver for Texas that time, Kwame Cavill, was in motion. They had an illegal procedure, but they did not. Texas did not make the 1st down.
We have a dead ball. Full start. Offense.
Texas might have got a little break here because they are going to replay it no matter what. It's going to be 3rd and about 8 or 9 because the ball was whistled dead before the snap.
And they would not have had the 1st down. You're right. 6:28, the clock stopped right now. We're scoreless at Kyle Field in College Station. And again, we are working to get the picture of this game back to you. But the weather conditions in this part of the country today are horrible. And the rain has let up a little bit, still coming down in buckets. But that's how bad it was moments ago.
Well, you know, I played golf in weather much worse than
that. Shows you that you need to get a life. 3rd down and 8 coming up.
I look for James Brown to run some type of quarterback draw. They have not utilized his feet yet in the football game.
He's got 3 wide receivers in this set. Brown, quick drop and a quick throw, and he's got his man complete out near the 35-yard line. It's Cavill, and it's a 1st down. Texas, a pickup of 13 out to the 35-yard line.
Really hard to believe, but Kwame Cavill may be the alter ego of this Texas football team. He's a true freshman, but James Brown says he reminds me of myself. He's very emotional, likes to talk, likes to taunt a bit without getting caught. But that time, he came back to the true freshman, and really this offense for Texas took off when this guy emerged as a wide receiver.
The first down of the football game comes with 5:45 left 1st quarter. Longhorns on their own 35-yard line. Handoff of Ricky Williams left side, and Ricky broke 1 tackle in the backfield and got 5 yards. Shun Horn, he kind of knocked him off and goes out to the 40-yard line.
Another one of those stretch plays to the outside of the formation. That time, Brandon Jennings, the strong safety, had a shot at Williams in the backfield, but as we all know who've watched this guy run a lot, one guy, he kind of angles, and you don't really get a good shot at his legs, and he kind of ran through that tackle, 2nd and 5.
At the 40. 5:36 left in the quarter. Both wide receivers to the right side of James Brown. He'll give it off to Ricky Williams inside. Ooh, took a big pop inside and still got 4 yards. Sean Coriat stood him up. And if that name rings a bell, his brother was quite a linebacker here, Quentin Coriat. Now Sean, a redshirt freshman out of Sugar Land, Texas, makes a hit.
Well, the offense is really settling in now for John Mackovic's Texas team. When you're able to get Ricky Williams wide around the corner, then all of a sudden those pulling guards can trap inside, and that's what he did to the Texas A&M defense that time, a little trap inside.
Jamel Thompson, the lone wide receiver, and they keep it on the ground on a 3rd down and less than 1, and only needed to get to the 45, and appears that they have.
That was a quarterback sneak by James Brown that time, and in 3rd and inches for Texas, you have no idea what they're going to do because everybody recalls the 4th and inches against Nebraska a year ago.
And again, we apologize for your picture. You may or may not have a shot of the field at Kyle Field. We're working on it and trying to get it restored to you. In the meantime, we'll tell you that there's no score with 4:47 left in the 1st quarter. But a 1st and 10 for the Longhorns. And the give to Ricky Williams, and he goes for 5 more. Sean Coriat made the tackle. Let's check in with Dino on the sideline.
Guys, I've just been informed that on the A&M sideline they have a radar detector, and that within 3 miles they have had several pops of lightning. So it's expected that it's coming this way, and this game may be halted temporarily here in a few minutes. I've been in a lot of games, but it's about as nasty as I've ever been to down here, guys. Not only the rain pelting down, but as you guys keep mentioning, the wind. So it's a double whammy.
No doubt about it.
And that's why this drive is so impressive by Texas. They're not only defeated A&M's defense, but they're defeating the wind.
Second down and 5 from the midfield stripe. Here comes Ricky Williams off the right side inside the 45 of A&M. He's got a first down near the 42-yard line. Royland Bradley made the tackle, but Ricky Williams is starting to get ahead of steam, the nation's leading rusher, and he's showing us some of that right now.
Brad, A&M is running what you call a power O, if you know much about football. That means the tight end will block down and the backside guard, the guard away from the way they are sweeping to the right. This time the left guard, Racler, comes across the formation and kicks out the outside linebacker. It has been very effective for them.
3:40 left first quarter, no score. But Texas on the march at the A&M 42-yard line. Here comes a blitz on Brown. Throws over the middle, incomplete, intended for Derek Lewis, his tight end. Not a bad play call there, but they didn't handle it. It might have been a big gainer had Lewis been able to hold that football.
Mike Hankwitz, now as Texas has been driving the ball, defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz says, I'm going to bring the blitz a little bit and see if you can handle that. Actually, it was a zone blitz, and you're right, Brad. They had the perfect call on it, just wasn't thrown or caught very well. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Yep. Anybody that can throw and catch in these conditions is doing a good job. 10th play of the Texas drive at the Aggie 42. 2nd down and 10, and it looks like the Aggies may bring it again. This time, Texas keeps it on the ground, and Ricky Williams just bangs his way down close to the 34-yard line. 7 more tough yards. This isn't flashy Ricky Williams. This is power Ricky Williams on this drive.
Well, this is a defense also that has only given up 400 yards total twice this season against Kansas State and Oregon State, and only 300 yards over twice against Iowa State and Baylor. So far, this is a very impressive drive by Texas. And you said bang. I'm hearing booms, too, and I'm sure everybody else does.
And if you're watching at home or trying to, there's been a few booms that have taken away our picture. We are working feverishly to restore that to your home or wherever you might be watching the Aggies and the Longhorns. Just hang in there with us. We have some of the worst weather conditions we've seen at a football game in a long time. So stay with us. There's 2:35 remaining in the first quarter. There is no score, but there is a key 4th down coming up right now for the Longhorns.
Another thing is emerging on the football field. Dat Wynn that time made the tackle on Ricky Williams to save a first down, but he looked like he got a stinger on the right shoulder, and he may be in a bit of trouble as it's 4th and inches again.
At the 33 to give to Ricky Williams. He moves the pile, and he's got the first down. Needed to get to the 32, and he got close to the 31. They'll move the sticks. Coriat and Jennings made the tackle, but Ricky didn't need much, and he got it. So this is a good-looking Texas drive, as good as we've seen from them, and this is the 3rd time we have seen the Longhorns this year. Their season began to unravel for John Makovic. The first time we saw him, a lot of you may have seen that game too, 66-3, lost to UCLA at home, and it seemed like everything tumbled downhill after that.
You know, it's nice about this drive for Texas is for the game, they're averaging 3.6 yards per play. That means they're moving the chains and taking time off the clock.
And they have not mishandled it yet. Nice play fake by Brown. Naked bootleg. He'll run with it. James Brown at the 24-yard line. And, boy, did he take a lick at the end of that run. He got about 6 or 7, though. Brandon Jennings let him have it.
And he got up looking at his left hand. His left finger, his 4th finger on his left hand is broken. And as he ran that bootleg to the right side, he got pasted at the end of it pretty well. And he got up right away and looked at his hand. On a day like today, normally you'd say the left hand is no big deal, but a day like today,
you need them both.
You need them both.
2nd down and 3. Texas has had the ball 6.5 minutes. We're down to 1:14 left first quarter. Ricky Williams, big opening off the left side, but somebody got a hand on his foot. May have been Dat Wynn that just caught his spike on the way by, or he may have been off to the races.
It was Dat Wynn. He took on an isolation play right up the middle. Ricky Brown, the big fullback, took him on, but Dat Wynn submarined him, came in at his knees, and then stuck out that right arm that I was worried about. I'm not worried anymore.
Here comes another 3rd down situation. 3rd down and 2. Both wide receivers to the right side. I don't think that matters with Ricky Brown and Ricky Williams in a dual set behind James Brown at the 23-yard line. It is Ricky Williams. Got a big opening inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. First down, Texas, on what might be the last play of this quarter after they move the sticks. Let's quickly check in with Dean on the sideline.
Guys, I was just told the referee has informed both R.C. Slocum and John Makovic that the Lightning is in the area and that any second he could be suspending this. So looks like we've gotten the quarter out of the way, though.
Yep, almost 22 seconds and the clock running. Texas would love to get a touchdown right now going this way, then get the wind in their favor the next quarter. And they have a first down at the 15-yard line. Ricky Williams up the middle, cuts outside, inside the 10, the 5. He's down to the 2-yard line. And it's first and goal, Longhorns.
Same isolation play, same block by Ricky Brown that time on Dan Wynn. They are running right at Dan Wynn right now. And that time Ricky Williams looked like he backed up, gave a little bit more space, and then reacted off the block instead of being so close.
And that run by Ricky Williams sets Texas up close to the Aggie goal line, but we'll wait to see if they can score for quarter number 2. We've played one scoreless. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
As the years go by, some slow down and take it easy. Some don't.
Like a rock.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Like a rock.
National Car Rental presents the Drive for the National Championship. The year 1981. Clemson visits North Carolina in the first ACC battle between teams ranked in the top 10. The Tigers took an early 7-3 lead, and the defense, led by Jeff Davis, Terry Kennard, and William the Refrigerator Perry, held on for a 10-8 victory to help lead the Tigers to their first national championship.
Vacation travelers know that when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go, National Car Rental, especially if you're going to the happiest place on earth. Because as the official car rental company of Disneyland in Southern California, National gets you in your car and on the road fast for a family vacation you'll never forget. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Disneyland with National Car Rental.
You're watching ABC.
Turn it on for the holidays at Time & Sound with state-of-the-art stereo components, including portables, popular bookshelf units, and car stereo systems. Plus, Time & Sound offers a wide selection of televisions and a complete line of dependable 8mm and VHS VCRs, easy-to-use video cameras, and accessories. Turn it on at Time & Sound for the real best buys guaranteed.
Time & Sound has it all. The highest technology at the lowest price. Turn it on.
Count on Channel 9's early warning Doppler 9000 radar network.
This is college football on ABC Sports.
Back in College Station, Texas, Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Dean Blevins, and awful weather. You're not seeing us. Hopefully you're hearing us. We went through the first quarter scoreless. As we start the second quarter, it's Texas at the Aggies' 2-yard line.
No surprise with a drive like Texas is on in the first quarter. Texas had 22 plays, A&M just 6. So far, Williams, 11 rushes for 50 yards. What strikes me is how fired up James Brown is for this football game. He is talking to everyone.
First and goal, Texas. Ricky Williams has scored 23 touchdowns this year. He gets the handoff, and he scores 24. On the sweep to the left side, Williams touchdown.
He followed Roger Raisler again. Raisler is doing an excellent job of running on this wet field, and Ricky Williams might be one of the best of running. He looks like a munner to me because he takes those small steps, and he really never gets out of balance.
Easily waltzed in the corner, and Texas leads 6-0. Bill Dawson comes in for the extra point attempt. Low snap, handled, and line drive kick. He missed it. The snap was not good. Mark Schultes, the punter, tried to handle it. It sort of dribbled its way back there, if you will, in these weather conditions, so it remains 6-0 Texas.
You know, one of the tough things for Texas on that extra point, Jay Humphrey was the center on that play, the snapper on that play. Well, Jay Humphrey played offensive tackle that whole drive. So
17 plays worth.
17 plays. I don't think he had a lot of time to get his hands clean and dry. You wonder in conditions like that if you'd be better off going to your backup snapper. At least he'd be dry. But you know who the backup snapper is?
Feebigger. He played 17 plays, too.
Oh, well, 6 points.
17-play drive, covered 80 yards, and took almost 8 minutes. That is pretty impressive. In these weather conditions, it's exactly what you want to do. And over 17 plays, you'd think somewhere there'd be a miscue. There wasn't a mishandle at all by Texas, and they lead 6-0.
Well, not only did Texas use the time and the wind into their face and kind of expend that first quarter, but they took that wind away from A&M in the first quarter. Now, should they want to throw the ball, they're going to have to do it into the wind.
Yep, the Aggies are going into it now. Dante Hall is back deep. Phil Dawson, senior place kicker for Texas, has it teed up.
In warm-ups, Phil Dawson was kicking the ball 10 yards out of the end zone in this direction.
And he's got the wind at his backside. Again, if you're experiencing difficulties with a picture, and we assume you are at home, stay with us. ABC is working full-time plus overtime to try to get your picture back. Here comes a line drive kick. They're trying to keep it out of Dante Hall's hands, and they're successful with that. Chris Taylor, one of the up men, takes it at the 12-yard line, and he weaves out to maybe the 23 before he's swarmed under by the Longhorn special teams.
You know, I always wanted to say this, so I'm going to do it. A&M is going from left to right on your dial.
Yes, they are.
Remember those old days?
I did a lot of those days.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, if you like sloppy, good old-fashioned smash mouth football, we've got that today, too. Between the hash marks right now is a quagmire already, and the rain again has re-intensified, if that's a word. I guess it's coming down in buckets. 14:46 to go first half. Texas leads 6-0. It's A&M working now from its own 23-yard line. They're going to give it off to the fullback, and he bounces outside. Tiki Hardeman dragging people with him for 6 yards out to the 29. Tony Holmes made the tackle, and somebody shaken up on the play. On the hit might have been Anthony Hicks, the outside linebacker.
You know, and if you're a Texas fan, you're used to seeing guys from Texas's defense being down. Only one player, Quentin Wallace, their left corner, has started every game at the same spot all season. Only one other player, Dusty Renfro, has started every game, and he started some at outside linebacker, some at middle linebacker. A lot of injuries for this defense.
And another one right now on the field with 14:30 remaining in the first half. We'll take a timeout and be right back.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette gum safe? And he said, to quit smoking? Of course Nicorette gum is safe. Smoking is not. People smoke to get nicotine, and they get carbon monoxide and tars, which are deadly. Smoking is the danger. Nicorette can be a big part of the solution. Nicorette lets you use nicotine when you need it to help you overcome your cravings. Don't hesitate for a second.
Nicorette gum helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, chili, baby back, rib. I want my baby back, chili, baby back, rib. Barbecue sauce. I want my baby back, chili, baby back, rib. I want my baby chili, baby back, rib. Barbecue sauce. I got my baby back.
Chili's grills like no place else.
Only by going alone in silence can one get into the heart of the wilderness. All other travel is mere dust and hotels and baggage and chatter.
Tonight, Rent to Own, Sounds great. Low weekly payments and soon the item's yours. But wait till you see what our hidden cameras found. 2020 investigates tonight.
Back in College Station, Texas. Texas A&M trailing the Longhorns 6-0. And again, terrible weather in this part of the country is causing our problems with your picture at home. I've been telling the bosses all week we should have a camera up on the Mir space station. It'd be a high 22 for Gary to do one of those
I could draw everything. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yep. We are working at an unbelievable pace trying to get your picture back, trust us. And what's going on behind the scenes, I tip my hat to the people that are trying to get your picture back. In the meanwhile, we hope you can sit back and listen and enjoy Texas A&M and Texas right now. 2nd down and 4 for the Aggies from their own 29-yard line. They trail by 6. Here comes Sir Parker.
And the ball is loose. There's a fumble. I think Texas has it.
Texas saying they do.
I don't know.
The referee trying to unpile everyone.
Kyle Richardson was on the hit that time for Sir Parker, but it looks like A&M got the ball back.
It'll still be Aggie ball and a 1st down.
You can't see, obviously, but there is 1 A&M player there and 5 Texas players there fighting for the ball. So who comes up with it? Cameron Spikes, the big tackle, comes up with it.
Coming up after our game, Keith and Bob and Lynn will be in Boulder to bring you number 2 Nebraska taking on the Buffaloes of Colorado. And with the luck we've got right now, it's probably a snowstorm in Colorado. 1st down at the 35-yard line. Toss sweep to the right side to Sir Parker. And Texas stretches it out and drops him maybe for a yard loss. Quentin Wallace, Brandon Nava got over there to make the hit on Parker, who will alternate at tailback now with Dante Hall. That's been the MO this year for Texas A&M. Both have done an excellent job. Both have excellent speed.
I think this weather has taken A&M more out of their offense than Texas. A&M's backs like to run a lot of fakes and misdirection plays and cutting. They do not look very effective on this sloppy field.
Let's see if Brandon Stewart will attempt a pass on 2nd down and 11. Play fake. On the bootleg, complete to midfield, and a big gainer down to the 41-yard line to Derek Spiller, the tight end. And a pickup of 25, and they did go to the air, and his favorite target, his tight end Spiller.
The Texas A&M offense is not a pass-happy offense, but they take care of the football. Derek Spiller is the 3rd leading receiver on this football team as a tight end, and as you can hear, maybe that weather that Dean was talking about has moved in. It could be a dangerous situation here.
As you said, 3rd leading receiver in number of catches, but he leads in yards per catch and touchdowns, and you can see why, averaging 16.5 a catch, and he picked up 25 there. And A&M is going to take a timeout with 12:58 remaining in the 1st half. We'll take one as well. We're going to continue to try to get you your picture back. We'll tell you right now, the Longhorns lead the Aggies 6-0.
Trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. Mama, man of means by no means, king of the road. 2 hours of pushing broom buys an 8, 12, 4-bedroom. Mama, man of means by no means, king of the road.
Let's go!
As a business traveler, you can choose from thousands of places to stay. But when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go. National Car Rental. Because when you join National's Emerald Club, you can bypass the counter, choose your own car, and get on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. National Car Rental.
Chevy Blazer with the driver control system. A little security in an insecure world.
in college football. Brought to you by Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. By Black & Decker, the new Wizard rotary tool, the tool that knows no limits, built by Black & Decker. By Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics. People who know use Valvoline. And by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Dean Blevins on a rain-drenched Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. Horrible weather conditions. It's the reason you're not seeing this game right now. Hopefully you can sit back, close your eyes, and enjoy Texas A&M going left to right as we view them at the 41-yard line. Handoff inside to Hardeman, the fullback. Got about a yard to the 40. 6-0, the Longhorns lead. Dean has more on not only the weather conditions, but what they might do about it. Dino?
Well, I visited with the referee, Steve Usacek, and I was actually with him while they called upstairs, Brad, and he said, guys, keep me informed of the lightning, and they told him it was 5 miles away. He says, let me know if one more comes. We're going to suspend this thing. He says, I don't care about the rain, just the lightning. And that last ball that you threw, that if people can envision throwing a basketball, Gary, don't you think that's what happened with Brendan Stewart?
It's like throwing a popsicle. You're right.
Yeah, it's miserable. I'll give you more in a second on that.
I was thinking the weight on it might be a medicine ball. And a handoff inside, and Hardeman got a big hole up to the 25-yard line. First down, he just rumbles for 15 yards. And DeAndre Tiki Hardeman, the junior out of Houston, has got the Aggies going in the right direction.
And I think they're going to tack on extra yardage because there was a personal foul at the end of the play very, very late by Texas.
The referee will huddle with the back judge and talk about it, and there are literally puddles that look to be an inch or two deep.
Yeah.
But right now between the hash marks.
Really surprising to me that both teams have had effective offenses going into the win with this quagmire that they're running in right now.
And it is a personal foul, and that's going to move it down near the 10-yard line. By the time they walk it off, the umpire will not spot the ball. He'll keep it under a towel, but it's going to go down at about the 12-yard line, I believe.
You know, the umpire, if you're a quarterback, the umpire is your best friend. You got to go over there and talk to him and say, keep that thing under that towel until we get up there.
And they put it down at the 13 now as the Aggies break the huddle.
2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, 1 back in the backfield.
And it's Tiki Hardeman, the lone setback. Stewart's going to hand it off to him. This time, nothing doing. Got about a yard. Got popped pretty well by Dusty Renfro and Kyle Richardson. And again, we've got 11:53 and the clock running here in the second quarter. It is 6-0 on a Ricky Williams Texas touchdown. The extra point on a bad snap, never had a chance. That's our score right now. And again, we're working to get your picture back on from College Station for you.
I always loved 1960 football, Southwest Conference football. We got it right here, don't we?
Only it's Big 12 now.
I know.
High backfield, Texas coming with a blitz. Straight ahead goes Stewart. He took the snap from the center. Nobody else moved, and Brandon goes down to about the 7-yard line.
Nice play that time from Hackrat to Brandon Stewart. He sensed the blitz, and he snapped the ball prematurely. Only the center and the quarterback moved that time to gain some positive yardage. But I tell you, Texas and everybody better sharpen their skates the way they're sliding around out there.
That was about a 5-yard quarterback sneak. It's 3rd down and 4.
And a 2-yard slide.
That's right. Both wideouts way out to the left side. And the give is inside.
Parker, touchdown!
Sir Parker swims 7 yards. Touchdown, Aggie.
He swam, and he never fell that time, twisting and twisting through the back of the end zone. Parker continued to twist all the way almost into the cannon and back to the bench. Great balance and a huge hole against the Texas defense.
Kyle Bryant to try to put the Aggies in front with the extra point, and he does. The roar from the crowd. 70,000 in rain-drenched Kyle Field and see the Aggies take a 7-6 lead.
Craig Lambert isn't too worried about how to invest for Zach's college education. That's because he works with a broker from Dean Witter. Together, they developed a long-term investment plan to help take Zach wherever he wants to go.
Clients feel most comfortable with our ability to see things from their perspective.
Now, when Craig looks into his son's eyes, he can see the future and smile. Dean Witter.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Thanks for the truck, Dad.
What'd you do?
Not much.
Where'd you go?
Kurt's?
You still talking about moving that old barn?
No.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Is that a scratch?
Nope.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Attending the University of Texas at Austin has been an experience that has changed my life. UT means academic excellence, outstanding teachers, state-of-the-art facilities, and great people. And all this is located in beautiful Austin. Being a member of the UT family makes you part of something special, forever.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of ABC Sports.
10 minutes, 46 seconds left in the half. Texas A&M just went 77 yards in 9 plays, and Sir Parker took it in from 7 yards out. Extra point was good. The Aggies lead.
Brad, let me set the scene down there on the field for you as far as weather conditions and water. If you were living in Michigan right now and it went between below 32 degrees, you'd have a nice ice rink.
A hockey game would break.
Yeah, you got a 120-yard ice rink right there. Because they got a good 1.5 inches down there right now.
Definitely.
And it's real level, too. I like that.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. Here comes Kyle Bryant's line drive kick. Hodges Mitchell picks it up at the 7. Mitchell, the backup tailback, gets out across the 30 to about the 31-yard line, and that's where Texas will go to work, and we understand they're another man short. Let's check in with Dean.
Yes, they are. Anthony Hicks, the linebacker, has been taken to the locker room. They will x-ray his ankle. And, guys, I'm told that it's raining at a ½ an inch per hour. They're trying to shuttle footballs and keep them as dry as possible, which is impossible. They're doing a decent job of it. So each sideline has 4 footballs. The ball boys dry them off with a towel, put them in a paper bag. Not in a paper bag. They don't put it in a plastic bag. And then they shuttle them in and out. They'll bring 8 new ones out in the second half.
They look like water balloons to me right now, and we understand some of your picture may be back. Hang in there with us. It's 7-6. Aggies. Brown, pump fake, wants to go deep. Long on the sideline. Broken up and almost intercepted. It was intended for Kwame Cavill. Jason Webster, the cornerback, knocked it away. And just as I say that, I think our picture got knocked away again. But we're getting closer, folks. There's 10.5 minutes left in the second quarter, and A&M leads 7-6.
Really an interesting call that time for Texas. So much run in the game. Texas came with a hitch and go, a stop and go to the outside, trying to get the A&M defender to slip down and go for the whole touchdown on one play.
2 tight end set. Lewis on a wing left. Ricky Williams, the lone setback at 2nd and 10 from the 31. And it's Ricky Williams off the right side. Got a nice block. Got the corner. And Ricky Williams keeps his balance. Tiptoes the sideline. He got 13 before they finally stop it.
Taking those baby steps and just follow Raessler. That's the game plan. Raessler again pulling. And Ricky Williams got around the corner, and you're right, a nice block to the downfield by the wide receiver also got him the first down, as Texas seems to have found a way to get outside by pulling Raessler and letting Ricky Williams with those little baby steps get out there and follow him.
It shows you the kind of footwork he has, because he's a 220-pounder. This is not a little guy. He's got 81 yards already on 16 carries. First down, Texas, its own 44. Ricky Williams again. This time he powers his way out to the 49, got 5 more, and he's heading for 100 yards in the first half. We've got 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
I'm very surprised with the A&M defensive system and alignment. They are playing 4 defensive backs. Their safeties are about 12 yards deep. Their corners are about 8 yards deep. They are playing a 7-man front. In this type of weather, you would think they'd have 8 and 9 people near the line of scrimmage. Again, as the alignment comes up, only 6 men in the box because Texas has 3 wide out.
You'll have to trust us on that 6 in the box, folks. Williams coming wide. Kept his balance. Gets inside the 45. He's got a first down at the 43-yard line. He broke 2 or 3 tackles and somehow kept his balance, put a hand down, and then slid down to the 43-yard line, 8-yard gain and a first down.
You know, these type of games are always tough to play in as a football player, but they end up being the most memorable games of your career. When you look back, you say, you remember that game?
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. The showers feel really good afterwards, too.
9 minutes, 5 seconds left in the second quarter. 3 wideouts set now on first down for James Brown, who drops to throw. Middle screen to the tight end, and he only got about a yard. Derek Lewis made the catch. Bill Myers was there all over him.
Fred, they were trying to run that jailbreak screen with the linemen go downfield, but those guys have a lot tougher time getting started than the wide receivers. Raisler was the only one that got downfield, and he was flat on his stomach out there.
They need bigger motors on their boat.
That's right. They can't use that little troll motor. They got to have the speedboat going.
Yep. 8.5 minutes remaining. It's still pouring in College Station, Texas, and if you don't have a picture, it's not a turkey hangover, folks. Just stay with us. We'll give you the call as best we can. 2nd down and 9. Here's a give to Ricky Williams on a little draw play. Got to the 40, but there's going to be a big 3rd down and 7 coming up for Texas as they trail 7-6 here with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. And Ricky Williams, with that carry, has just set the single-season Texas rushing record, and I think most of you know who it may have belonged to. 20 years ago, there was a Heisman Trophy winner named Earl. And this is Little Earl, they call him.
I think we got to give a new nickname to this guy. This Little Earl thing doesn't work anymore.
7th play of the Longhorn drive at the 40-yard line of the Aggies, and they're going to take a timeout. James Brown will walk to the sideline to talk to Coach Makovic, and we'll take a timeout as well. 7 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the half. The Aggies lead the Longhorns 7-6.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, chili, baby back rib. I want my baby chili, baby back rib. Barbecue sauce. I want my baby back, chili, baby back rib. I want my baby chili, baby back rib. Barbecue sauce. I got my baby back rib.
Chili's grills like no place else.
There comes a time when you realize you've come about as far as you can on your own. And if you want your investments to go further, you're going to need someone with the expertise and the resources to help you go the distance. It's not an admission of failure. It's an admission of success. It's an acknowledgement of what you've got at stake here. That moment of truth when you say to yourself, okay, no more fun and games.
Smith Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it. The Panasonic Razor. Shave wet or shave dry. Your choice. Your shave. Rinse clean. Work hard. Play hard. Shave your way. Panasonic.
Critics call it a startling blast of thrills. Rolling Stone calls it a visual marvel. And People magazine says Alien Resurrection rocks.
Was it everything you hoped for?
Must be a chick thing. Rated R. Now playing.
7:35 remaining in the second quarter. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Dean Blevins with you from College Station, Texas. It is 7-6. The Aggies lead on a Sir Parker touchdown. The weather's so bad they're walking Bevo into the locker room, into the tunnel.
See, Bevo's gotten used to that John Makovic passing game, and he said, this is just, I can't go back to this running
miserable.
stuff.
This ground game stuff's driving me crazy. Here's a key 3rd down and 7.
Texas in split backs, but they're one of the few teams that run out of it.
They will throw. Brown back, fires. Diving attempt by Kwame Cavill, and he couldn't hold it. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down. And now you got maybe a little bit of a decision here on punt or kick.
Well, I think if it was a dry field, they would definitely give Dawson a shot at kicking this ball. But in these conditions, I'm sure they'll punt.
Yep, they will punt. Here comes Schultes out. The reason we say that, Phil Dawson has one of the best legs in college football. He had a strong wind, or would have had a strong wind at his back, but this is just too risky in these conditions. So the Longhorns will punt. Dante Hall is back at the 10-yard line for the Aggies, waiting on it. Schultes, low snap, he handles it. Again, he kicked it off the side of his foot. And it bounces out of bounds at the 19 or 20-yard line on the far side of the field. And down on the field is our Dean Blevins.
And, of course, the reason you can't see us is because of the atrocious weather. And, guys, if you'll notice the flagpole, and our viewers can't see it, but I'll tell you, it is drooping straight down. And when we began this game, the wind was blowing probably 20 miles an hour. What that means is this weather is socked in. We will be here for a long time with this rain. And, by the way, I've been on both sidelines checking the defensive huddles, and these players love playing in this defense. You know, the offense can't do what it wants to do, but they absolutely love it.
You're right.
Slide around and hit guys. A&M's got the ball back just inside its own 20-yard line. And it's Hardeman, the fullback, and again, he bounces off 2 or 3 would-be tacklers, and he gets out to the 25-yard line. Give him 5. Tiki Hardeman using that 233 pounds to move the pile forward.
Hey, Hardeman that time ran right through Cedric Woodard, the big defensive tackle for Texas, who goes about 280 pounds. I'm really surprised he had him just dead cold for no gain. But you're right, he kept his feet going and made a positive play out of it.
29 yards for Tiki Hardeman on 6 carries. Second down at 5 from the 25. And out to tailback. Parker, the man who scored, gets about 3.
Both teams are really running mirror image offenses right now. 2 tight ends.
Beg your pardon, and the folks at home, I don't have to correct myself. It was Dante Hall on the carry. I should leave those alone.
You're right. You just trust yourself. You know, though, really, after a Thanksgiving big meal the next day, what a better way than to just lay on your couch, close your eyes, and listen to this football game, huh?
That's it.
That's as best as I can say it.
Third down and 2. Third down and 2 from the 28. Toss sweep. Parker cuts in across the 30, and he would have been off to about a 70-yard touchdown, but somebody got an ankle. Kyle Richardson tripped him up, but he got the first down.
Well, we are both long-time listeners to football on radio, and a couple of our favorite guys do it pretty well, and Hank Stram and Jack Buck.
That's right. They did it for 100 years, so should we do one play?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, Jack, looks like they can run left, Jack. They can run left, Hank. They can run left, Jack.
On a 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. And they are going to run it left. Hardeman.
I'll see you right there. They just had that soft left side. They could run left.
Hank, if you're listening at home, or Jack, that one was just for you. Pick up a 5 for Hardeman. With 5:40 remaining in the second quarter, it is 7-6. Texas A&M leading Texas in the 104th meeting of these two longtime rivals, and this one goes back to 1894. That's the first time they played. The Longhorns won that one 38-0. This one, a one-point game here late in the second quarter. Second down and 4. Aggies from their own 38. Hand off to the second man. Up close to the 40 is Dante Hall. And it's going to bring up a third down and a long 2 upcoming.
This is the type of day when your offensive guards are pulling and trying to kick out those defensive ends that are rushing upfield. Most of the plays have been inside traps or pitches to the outside where a tackle will come around or a guard will come around and get outside. It has been a very interesting little chess match so far with the running game. Both have been pretty effective.
Spiller comes in as the second tight end on a third down, a long 2. They play fake it to Hall, and they throw it, and it's complete across midfield, and it's to Derek Spiller, and he's got a first down at the 49 of Texas.
Well, let's really salute Brandon Stewart. I mean, as this team has gotten better, Brandon Stewart has been the guy that has emerged. When we talked to Steve Marshall and R.C. Slocum yesterday, they said it was like the light went on against Texas A&M. He did not start that football game. He came into the second half, and, you know, coming out of high school, he was a high school sprint-out quarterback, and so far both of his throws have been on the run, and he's done them perfectly.
Huge. Great call. At the 49, it's first down. Here comes Hardeman. He broke out of the pack. Inside the 40, down to the 34-yard line. And another 15-yard romp by Tiki Hardeman.
Well, this has been the Achilles heel for this Texas team all year. Their defense is ranked 102nd in the nation in giving up 238 yards a game. And, you know, coming into this season, the Texas secondary was thought to be the weakness. And as you look, we got Pete, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind right there.
From the 34-yard line.
We have landed.
I'm just going to let you watch this play, folks.
Right.
All got about a yard.
We're going to take a blow, right?
Yep, we're going to take a break. We're going to our refrigerator while you all have been doing that through 2 quarters. 3:48, as you can see, and we're happy to say that remaining in the first half. It's 7-6. Texas A&M leads in this long-time rivalry. A lot of these players on these teams would say, you know, we don't care about the rest of the season as long as we beat the Longhorns or as long as we beat the Aggies. And right now it's the Aggies by 1 here late in the second quarter. 9th play of the A&M drive. They'll give it off, and it's a big opener to Dante Hall. Hall inside the 20, down to the 12-yard line.
A&M features really 3 plays, and this was the 3rd of their big plays, the counter action that Hall was very patient with and got the kick-out block and just gashed them that time. Texas having trouble as this A&M offense has found the groove with the running game. You know, Brad, we talked about that wind being such a big factor. The flags, as Dino mentioned, are just drooped straight down now.
And the rain's coming straight down. First down at the Texas 12-yard line for the Aggies. Here's a give to Hardeman, straight up the middle, touchdown! Hardeman looked like a greased pig from 12 yards out, touchdown.
Well, he sure was wet and greasy. He ran right through Donald McCowan's tackle that time. They've been running wide, and this time just a quick hitter up the middle. Tackled about the 5-yard line. McCowan just went down him, as you said, like a grease pick, and they were into the end zone, and could be the 14th point.
Kyle Bryant's extra point is up and good. 3:10 left in the first half. 14-6 Aggies.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette gum safe? And he said, to quit smoking? Of course Nicorette gum is safe. Smoking is not. People smoke to get nicotine, and they get carbon monoxide and tars, which are deadly. Smoking is the danger. Nicorette can be a big part of the solution. Nicorette lets you use nicotine when you need it to help you overcome your cravings. Don't hesitate for a second.
Nicorette gum helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, chili, baby back rib. I want my baby chili, baby back rib. Barbecue sauce. I want my baby back, chili, baby back rib. I want my baby chili, baby back rib. Barbecue sauce. I got my baby back rib.
Chili's grills like no place else.
Only by going alone in silence can one get into the heart of the wilderness. All other travel is mere dust and hotels and baggage and chatter.
To 6, Texas A&M leads Texas. Terrible weather conditions at College Station as we started this game. Ricky Williams capping an 80-yard drive with his 24th touchdown of the year, but back came the Aggies. Sir Parker from 7. That capped a 77-yard march. The extra point was good. It was 7-6. Sir Parker with a little dipsy-do and a little bit of a cartwheel at the end as you see one of his teammates slide into him. How bad are the weather conditions here today? I'll tell you how bad they are. When you're Bevo and you say, you know what, I'm going to the locker room to warm up. But the Aggies have come back warmed up again. Tiki Hardeman huge on this drive that capped an 80-yard march in 10 plays. He took it in from 12. It's 14-6 Texas A&M.
He took it right up the gut, and a couple of guys that aren't playing for Texas who could be a factor, Chris Akins and Casey Hampton, their 2 big 300-pounders, have been missing from this defense almost all year. In fact, the front 4 for Texas are all gone from the starting front 4. Add Chris Smith and Damon Luckett, and all 4 of their starters are not playing towards the end of the year.
3:10 left in the second quarter. Bryant's got it teed up. Kickoff return men move up, and this one's going to go all the way to the end zone. Touchback. Texas will work from its 20 after we check in with John Saunders in New York.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Try and stay dry out there. Don't forget, at 2:30 Eastern Time, the second half of our doubleheader, Nebraska and Colorado.
Yeah, we'll take a look at quarterback Scott Frost in Nebraska. We'll also look at some of the great players in college football overshadowed by superstar teammates.
All right, it's all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 97 right now. Back to the guys in the rain.
Oh, we got it, John. The rain coming down. We got to get those guys parkas or rain gear just inside in New York.
They should have to dress like we dress,
yeah, that's
no
right.
matter what.
Wind starting to pick back up a little bit. The Lone Star flag is straight down, but Old Glory starting to move a little bit. 3:05 left, and Texas would like to move 80 yards before intermission. They have run it 22 times already. And, of course, the top rusher in the country is a guy that carries the mail. Here he comes on a little counter. Ricky Williams bounces off a couple, goes for 6, maybe 7. Datwin and company finally drag him down. But Ricky Williams has been sensational this year. He's had 6 games this season alone of 200 yards or more in a single contest. Of course, we saw one of those against Oklahoma, but he has been some kind of running back. There's his numbers already, and he's maybe on his way to 200 today because he's got 102 and a touchdown. And we're still in the first half. Second down. Williams the other way. Ricky put a move on the cornerback, and he's run out of bounds fairly close to the first down. This one might even be close enough to look at. Jason Webster ran him out in front of the A&M bench.
Since the ball went into the end zone, all they have to do is touch the 30-yard line for the first down, so it will be a first down.
Yep, they moved the sticks. You're right.
You saw how Ricky, his style of running that time, you cannot make very sharp cuts on this field. But as you look at the uniforms for Texas, as wet as it is, you can see there's not a lot of mud out there. The field is very, very full of grass. And for as much rain as we've had, I don't think you can do much better than this for this field condition.
Texas just inside its own 31. Williams trying to go that same way, puts a stiff arm out, and he goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Rich Cody ran him out. I noticed the last time Ricky was over there on the Texas A&M bench, I think it just shows, even though this is an intense rivalry and the players would say, we hate the Aggies, we hate the Longhorns, about half the team gave him a pat on the backside after that one run. I think that shows a little bit of respect for that guy.
It's hard not to respect a guy that can put those type of statistics on the board. You know, starting this game, Amon Green had to rush for more than 215 yards to catch him. He's already got 100, so he's more than 300 yards behind.
Mom, if you're in the locker room up in Boulder watching, you're going to have a big day. It's our second game today, number 2 Nebraska against Colorado. There's a big hit in the backfield, and this time no gain on the play, but that's not Ricky Williams. That's Ricky Brown, the fullback, who tried to carry it, and it'll bring up a third down situation. Texas has 2 timeouts remaining. That was Ricky Williams on the carry. Ricky Brown, the lead man.
It was, and you can see the core who don't get to sit down.
Nope,
of course, it's so wet. Who wants to sit down? You don't want those wet pants, you know?
Yeah, the only way to keep your butt dry today is to stand throughout. It's 3rd and 7 from the 34-yard line. James Brown will drop the throw. Fires in, almost intercepted. His receiver looked like he broke off his pattern a little bit. And Jason Webster knocked it away, and Texas is going to have to give it up.
Well, we talked about early in the open about the size of a guy's hand determines how well he can throw a ball. And you can see James Brown, that one got way away from you. Look down. Yep, that's all you got, James. That's all you have to work with.
Not only that, you saw almost a stream of water come off his hand after he let go. It looked like he had a faucet between his fingers, and Schultes will have to punt.
Schultes has not punted well.
Whoops. Bad snap. He got it away, though.
Oh, my. That was a great play by Schultes.
That was an awful snap. And you might guess that it would be very hard on a long snapper today because you're trying to hike it right out of the mud. A&M's got the lead now, the ball when we come back.
Trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. Mama, man of means by no means, king of the road. 2 hours of pushing broom buys an 8 or 12 4-bedroom. Mama, man
As a business traveler, you can choose from thousands of places to stay. But when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go. National Car Rental. Because when you join National's Emerald Club, you can bypass the counter, choose your own car, and get on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. National Car Rental.
Chevy Blazer with the driver control system. A little security in an insecure world.
May not show up in the stat sheet or the newspaper tomorrow, but this is a huge play by Texas.
Oh, Schultes did a great job here. He hasn't punted well in the game, but I think this saved points for Texas. He got it over the line of scrimmage, really had his best punt of the day, because that would have been a turnover around the 20-yard line.
And again, anybody that's a deep snapper today is probably in some deep mud down there trying to do it. The last couple of drives for A&M have been impressive, and they've netted touchdowns. From the 29, they start again. They've got a couple timeouts left. I don't think they're going to get too fancy, but Hardeman just does not want to go down. Got 4 more yards bouncing off tacklers. Don't forget, coming up next, number 2, Nebraska will take on the Buffaloes of Colorado, who still hold slim hopes for a bowl game if they can pull an upset at Folsom Field. Keith and Bob and Lynn will be waiting on this one to end, and they'll bring you all the action of that Big 12 matchup. Here, it's Texas and Texas A&M. And the Aggies, after spotting the Longhorns a touchdown, have scored 14 unanswered.
It's a very smart play by A&M. Let's get it to halftime. Yep. You really can't score, so let's not give Texas a chance for a cheap score at the end of the half.
Brandon Stewart will go back, take a knee, and the first half, rain-filled first half, will come to a close. But the Aggie fans enjoying themselves, even though the conditions are horrible. The scoreboard is beautiful. 14-6, the Aggies out in front of the Longhorns from College Station, and we send it to New York and John Saunders.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot. A lot drier here inside the studio. And coming up next on Valvoline Halftime 97, we'll look ahead to that game between Colorado and Nebraska.
Yeah, it should be a good game. And we look at Scott Frost, a quarterback at Nebraska. Also going to take a look at some of the better players in college football that nobody really knows about.
All right, stick around. It's all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 97.
Back in College Station, Texas, the Aggies at home leading 14-6 at halftime. A rain-drenched first 2 quarters, some of which you may not have seen. We welcome you back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson on this day after Thanksgiving. And there's one that got away yesterday.
Yeah, we'll get them.
I know you're a wingman, but today it's ground turkey so far, first half.
And it has been a ground game in the first half for both these teams. I think maybe it might have hurt Texas a little bit more. James Brown was taken out of his game, but Texas got off first. Ricky Williams, although the conditions were much worse than they appear right now to start the second half, Texas had a 17-play drive. Ricky Williams, they missed the extra point to make it 6-0. But then A&M came back. First it was Sir Parker. You can see just how slippery it was, as a little slide almost took out the ankle. But that balance came through in the celebration. And then one more touchdown for A&M. Hardeman this time to make it 14-6 at halftime. You know, one other thing, the Texas Aggie fighting band was out here, and, you know, I think they helped the field, to tell you the truth. That's what it looked like before, and right now I think it looks pretty good out there.
The Longhorn band preceded them. Dean knows a lot more about the field conditions in this ball game. He's drenched down there right now.
How's this looking?
That's a good look.
Yeah.
My tailor back at home, Hans, wouldn't think much of this look.
You haven't looked that wet since that opening game when it was so hot.
Looked like Pat Riley.
We'll check in with Dino after the kickoff. The wind is completely switched from the first quarter. Here's a line drive kick taken by one of the up men at the 15-yard line. That's Chris Taylor. Taylor Had a little opening. It closed on him at about the 31-yard line as we check in with Dean again.
Guys, this grass is very good. You know, this is an agriculture school, and as someone told me, there's lots of money in this program, so they have a great grass field here. It replaced the turf 2 years ago. Beneath this grass surface, 3 feet below it, rather, is sand. So remarkably good footing. I talked to John Makovic. He said what we've got to do is make something happen in the third quarter. R.C. Slocum said we must tackle the ball better, tackle Ricky Williams better. He said we're going to force something in the kicking game.
We'll keep our eye on it as A&M has it. First down, and it's Hall out to the 35-yard line with his forward progress before Bodwin, the defensive end, carries him backward.
I think the other big story of this football game, as you look at the score, just 14-6 at halftime, is no turnover in this football game, and that is a real select good job by this football team and both football teams in the first half, because that is a testament to good coaching, because both teams really hung on the ball, and it's been the run game, not the turnovers, that have been the difference for A&M.
Ball only came loose once, and A&M recovered their own fumble. Second down from the 35. Dante Hall again trying to weave his way through, and he gets up to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 as we take a look at our Dean Witter halftime statistics. Rushing almost dead even. 5-minute time of possession advantage to Texas, but it really didn't matter.
Well, it's considering that time of possession at one time was really lopsided in Texas' favor. The second quarter was very good to A&M. They got their running game going with a lot of plays coming inside and outside this susceptible defense for Texas.
2 tight ends set for the Aggies on a 3rd and 2. Toss to Hall, following his fullback, got a first down, got a bunch more. Across midfield, down the sideline, Dante Hall. All the way down to the 10-yard line.
That's the type of play that Hall was not able to make in the first half because the field was so slippery. But now you see what this guy can do. He wears the same number as a very familiar player here, Leland McElroy for A&M. They say he doesn't have quite the speed of Leland. Not many guys do, but he's a little more shifty. Pushed out right there on about the 9-yard line by Broyles, and that was the biggest play of the football game so far.
Dante Hall, who started this ball game, both he and Sir Parker came in with great stats. Hall came in with 850. Now he's up to 950. That carry just took him to the century mark, and now here comes the fullback Hardiman, who had the great second quarter, and Tiki goes for a couple. It'll bring up 2nd down and goal. Anthony Hicks made the tackle, and Hicks was out injured in that first half. He has come back and is playing here in the third quarter.
Well, A&M's offense is one of the most highly rated offenses in college football. They're averaging 38 points a football game, and you can see how explosive they can be when the conditions are properly able to allow that rushing game to be effective.
2nd down and goal at the 7. Here's a give to Parker, outside, touchdown. His second score of the day, Sir Parker. His first one from 7, his second one from 7.
Well, if you don't think there's no hard feelings between these two teams when Texas routed them a year ago, this time Sir Parker is going to run that counter action to the outside. Now watch him slow down here and just say, hey, I can make it walking. That was a little bit in your face there.
Extra points up and good. Aggies early in the third quarter. Tack 7 more on. Hall got him close and Parker got him in.
My name is Anda Andre, Director of Design for Ian Schrager Hotels. I direct the creative effort of building all the hotels.
We are our worst competition, so we just have to keep up with ourselves. Because in the end, you are always judged by your last project, and the next one has to be better than before.
I say, okay, what's your email? And when they say we don't have any, I say, you don't?
You need to know what's going on in order to know where you want to be.
What used to take like sometimes a week, 2 weeks in the library and trying to find out things, now it's like 10 minutes, done.
The thing is, long long as you have to be competitive in the world we are living in, anything that helps, you should get.
There are two sides to every Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you.
Undefeated Nebraska puts their national title hopes on the line. They play Colorado in a key Big 12 showdown. Next.
21-6, Texas A&M. Another long drive, 69 yards, most of it done by Dante Hall for R.C. Slocum, who might be on his way to his 83rd career victory, which would put him atop the heap of any coach in Texas A&M history.
And I think he's done it here this year by going back to basics at Texas A&M. They're running the ball better. They're playing their old style of 3-4 defense, and kind of he's going back to what brought him to this point, and I think it's working well for him this year.
The ground game and the wrecking crew, and it's doing a pretty good job so far. The kick going to be fielded by one of the up men, and a big hit put on at the 30-yard line. Dusty Renfro, the linebacker, is the guy that scooped it up.
Well, we set up this game early with some profiles of both offenses featuring the defense. You know, let's look at Texas starting profile. They needed some big plays, but they had to stay balanced. Because of the weather, they have not been able to balance this game so far. No big plays, no big passing plays. And you can see they've been able to get some plays out of Ricky Williams, but nothing out of James Brown. So there's been no freaking from this Ricky James offense.
Let's see what they do now. They'll keep it on the ground. Lewis, tight end, got a nice block, and Ricky Williams tried to put a stiff arm out there. Shun Horn ran him out of bounds. Nice block by Lewis on that win, and Ricky got about 3, and he's still down.
One of the great traditions for Texas A&M football has been the 12th man on the kickoff wearing number 12. Well, look what happened on this last kickoff. Went down, and the number 12
Chad Fratson
is the guy that got the tackle. Yep. What a thrill, huh?
You're not kidding.
Fratson stands up and said, I'm the man.
Tell you what, Ricky Williams has not stood up, and he is the man for Texas, and he's down on the far side. And all the Longhorn players and their fans are collectively holding their breath right now. At the very end of that play, Shun Horn knocking him out of bounds. Let's see if we can get another look at it.
You never really look like you get a good shot at him. Maybe he fell across his leg. That looks like exactly what Horn did. Fell on the back of Ricky Williams' leg that time, and those are the ones that are usually...
He might have gotten an elbow in the low spot, too, I think, at the end.
Oh, yeah, that hurts, too.
Yeah, that hurts a lot.
Right. I was working my way up there.
Yep. You were working up body parts. I think we'll stop at that body part.
Right. Used to stop me, I'll tell you that.
Right there. Ouch. Well, we'll see if he can come back in. Right now, it looks like he's okay on the sideline. That's good news. From the 34, second down at 6. James Brown. The throw outside, completes it, and a first down. He got it out to the tight end, Steve Bradley. And that's a spot, Gary, that last year they were huge in, the tight end receiving the football, and they've been trying to piece that together.
You watch James Brown throw this ball to the tight end, and you are correct, Brad, about that tight end not being a factor. Watch how James almost protects a slippery ball and almost pushes it. He usually has great rotation with the football. That was almost a knuckleball out there. And when we talked to the offensive coaches for Texas, Gene Dahlquist and John Makovic, they both said that they miss a tight end that can go down the middle of the defense and stretch those zones. They don't have one.
Used to have Pat Fitzgerald who did that so brilliantly. Here's Ricky Williams, who just checked back in, and he pounds his way out for about 4 yards.
I think the weather is not a factor any longer in this football game now. The field is passable enough to throw the football, and now the real disadvantage on this type of a soggy field goes to the defensive backs. As Texas is going downwind, the wind has shifted. It's now going left to right. They say if you wait around here long enough, everything changes.
It'll change, that's right.
And I think Texas should start trying to feature that passing game now and see if those corners can stand up.
Second down at 5 at the 46-yard line for the Longhorns. Thompson in motion. They fake the end around to him. Brown loads and goes long for Cavill. broken up at the 25-yard line.
And it was badly underthrown that time. Cavill ran his route too early for all the faking that had to be done. The ball really not got out there as far as James Brown wanted it to go. You could see it was almost another slip, and Cavill had to come back. Sean Horn that time was in good enough position to make a play on a not well-thrown football. A&M coming in with a nickel as 5 defenders leave and 5 different fresh bodies come on.
Only the 11th pass thrown by the Longhorns today, and probably number 12 coming up right here. Brown fires this one wide, opens his tight end again. And it's Steve Bradley who's found some open ground on the far side of the hash mark, and he's got another Longhorn first down.
Well, Steve Bradley is known as the blocking tight end of the pair. Derek Lewis is the guy that catches most of the passes. But, you know, I keep watching James Brown. He is really emotionally into this football game. There's nothing better he would like than to get in here and throw the football around and be the star of the game. I think he's got to be coming to that sideline and begging John Makovic, said, let's throw the ball, let's be more balanced. He's 6 for 12 right now.
First down at the Aggie 37. 21-6, Texas A&M leads. Ricky Williams outside, put a move on, down the sideline, and out of bounds.
Boy,
he may be limping again.
He sure was. He might have pulled something. He's slamming the ground that time. Do you see that burst? He was taking those little steps, and when he saw the burst, he took it. And on that wet field,
I think there was too much burst, to tell you the truth.
You're exactly right. Let's take a see if you can notice when he popped that hamstring or groin.
Looked like he was trying to tightrope the sideline, and right there you see him limping badly.
Limping badly, and he pounded the ground, and I think he might have pulled a groin or a hamstring, but I'm never right. So it's something on that right side of the body, I can tell you that.
Tell you what, he's limping badly. That
Yes,
might be
is.
the day done for Ricky Williams. 23 yards, the long gain of the day for Texas. What it does do is it puts his teammates inside the Aggie 15 at the 14-yard line. Hodges Mitchell now becomes the tailback with Williams out injured. He's the man that gets the call. Cuts inside the 10. Tough run by the little guy. You give up a lot of size. Hodges Mitchell 5'7", about 180 pounds. Ricky Williams 6 or 6'1", and about 220 plus. But he did a nice job that time to get it to the 9-yard line.
Ricky Williams is coming back on the football field as Hodge goes off. Watch this sweep. Dat Wynn is going to come and try to take on Raisler again. Jumps over the block that time. He does it when you watch films all the time. He's just a guy that refuses to be blocked.
And Ricky Williams refuses to stay on the sideline. He comes back in, as Gary mentioned. From the 9, inside, trap play to the fullback, Ricky Brown, and the other Ricky takes it down to what might be 1st and goal. He doesn't get many carries. Ricky Brown, sophomore out of Arlington, Texas, and he did a nice job with that one.
Nice call by the Texas coaches that time. They had been featuring Ricky Williams wide. They swung Williams behind Brown and turned around like on a counter trap play and slipped it inside for a nice positive play.
Got it down at the 3-yard line. Ricky Williams has scored once today, 24 times this season. 1st and goal. Derek Lewis, the tight end, in motion. Ricky Williams, left side. Touchdown, Texas. His 25th of the year.
Well, the first half, Williams was following Roger Raisler. This time he followed Ben Adams, the big 300-pounder, and Williams is saying, this is A&M. An ankle or a hamstring isn't going to keep me out. You see big 79 come around. He gets his block into Trent Driver, and there's no stopping Williams. If it's his last game in Texas, and that little if is a big word in Texas right now, he's going to make it last.
He had 35 yards on that drive, and he's still limping badly, not only for his run down the sideline, but for what he just did off the left side for the touchdown.
Texas is going to go for 2 here.
And it's James Brown who was going to trot. Would have been a great play call, but they whistled it dead right at the snap.
I think it's going to be some type of legal procedure against Texas, and that means they should kick the extra point.
And here comes Dawson. You're right. They may have lost Steve Usachek's microphone, too, due to the weather.
You know, one of the little things about that penalty right there is the ball now should end up on the left hash, because that's where the penalty started. and now it'll be a tough angle kick for this extra point for Dawson.
It's in essence going to be a 25-yard field goal from the left hash mark.
See, if they kick the extra point, it's right in the middle, obviously. They wanted the play on the left hash for the 2-point play, but now, as you say, it's almost a field goal from that left hash. And remember, the last time it was a bad snap.
Ryan Feebiger is going to snap this one. Humphreys had some trouble with the snaps today. Let's see how Feebiger does. Schultes to hold. It's a low snap. The kick is up, and it is good, however. So Texas gets a touchdown with 9:22 to go, third quarter, to draw within 8. Ricky Williams, his second of the day, his 25th of the year. ABC Sports presentation of college football. Brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. By State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Dean Blevins from College Station, Texas. Rain-drenched Kyle Field, but the weather, quite frankly, has improved a little bit with 9:22 remaining. And if that's an improvement, as you can see, Phil Dawson set to kick off. You know how bad we had it earlier.
Look how white all the Texas uniforms still are in this game. That's how good the football field is in condition.
Either that or they scotch guarded each other down there. I'm not sure. Ricky Williams, who scored that touchdown from 3 yards out moments ago, and you saw him pull up on that long run he had down the sideline. There's the stiff arm, and as he got down the sideline, started to try to tightrope it over there. And the Texas bench is calling it a high ankle sprain. However, I don't know that maybe it isn't a shin or a leg. Or
well, you wonder if it happened on that play and then he felt it on the long run later in that drive.
Yeah.
You know, because the combination of the two plays, maybe that's it.
That's
as he's
Ricky.
getting that right ankle retaped.
Even on a bad wheel, 145 yards and 2 touchdowns for Ricky Williams. We hope he comes back just because he's that much fun to watch. Here's the toss for Parker. Parker outside, got the corner. Cuts back inside across the 40 midfield. Flags are down and Parker down to the 41. But again, a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was holding all the way that time. That really allowed Parker to get around the corner. A very obvious call. But it happened about 5 yards downfield. You'll see it on the right side of your screen there. I think it was by the fullback that time, Mark Broyles, that held to get around the corner.
So they'll bring it back, and it's the first penalty against A&M. And that says a lot with 9 minutes, 7 seconds to go, third quarter, about the discipline on this team. They lead 21-13. The series 104th game. A&M has won 10 of the last 13, but Texas took it the last 2 years. And as Gary said, they rubbed it in a little bit last year, 51-15. And Brandon Stewart and the Aggies have not forgotten that.
Well, if you can't rub it in against your nearest foe and your
who can you rub it in?
Why would you want to do it to anybody else?
First and 15 now. Back near the 14-yard line. The give. Parker again. Blasts across the 25 out to the 26. And as Gary said, you either love one of these teams and hate the other or vice versa. I think Dean even has more on that down in the field.
That's right. It's getting a little political down here. We have a couple of senators. Kay Bailey Hutchinson over here, former cheerleader at the University of Texas. Hello.
Hello.
And on the other end, we have Senator Phil Graham of Texas A&M. Go get it, guys.
Dean.
All right. You guys braved the elements out here. You could have stayed underneath, but I guess you're showing your spirit.
Well, this is a big game. We played it 105 times. We're the heavy favorite today, but we know this game can go either way. It's who has the biggest heart. I think Texas A&M does.
Senator, you shouldn't be looking at those who's the favorite deals, should you? Hold on here just a second. Hold on there. We're going over to a play.
First down by Hall. Dino.
Senator, you are a Texas fan through and through. You're looking like that. What is it? Do you have a chance today?
Oh, absolutely, Dean. This game is so important to both schools. It's the greatest friendly rivalry on the face of the earth, and anything can happen. This game ain't over.
I was talking to a couple of guys, well, Gary Danielson earlier today. I said, you know, Texas A&M has as much tradition as any school in the country. We kind of got into a debate over that. Do you believe that, and why so?
Oh, I think we have more tradition than any other school in the country, and I think this game is really a test of that tradition. As the chancellor of the University of Texas said last year when Texas won, Phil, this is just a game. I said, this is not a game. This is a clash of cultures.
Well, we appreciate it. Any retort from you?
Well, I'm just going to say what Darrell Royal once said, and that is, We're ready.
Okay, I thought she was going to say dance with the one who she brings me with this umbrella. I'll sure dance with her.
You'll be dancing with her.
Quote on cockroaches. I'll leave that for another day.
All right, thanks, guys.
I think Senator Graham won the filibuster, but Senator Hudson made the good points.
Yes, you're right. You're right. We saw her up here in the booth with her orange suit on. Now she's got the parka on to be with Dean on the sideline. Short gain on 2nd down and 6. And, of course, all the tradition. We talked about the bonfire last night, and that thing's anywhere from 5 to 10 stories high, depending on who you listen to. It takes them a couple of weeks to put it together. And it was still burning this morning as we drove over here. And, of course, that signifies the Aggies' burning desire to beat Texas. That's where that all started. And it's been a fun week and a fun holiday, even though our crew had to be away from our families. We bonded last night and out here for a football game today in the elements. 3rd down and 5. Toss sweep, and that play almost blown up in the backfield and finally is, and I think maybe a holding call to boot on top of it.
It's either going to be that or a tripping call to Nava. One of the two. Brandon Nava was right there on the play. It's either going to be holding or tripping.
Boy, he was in the backfield in a hurry.
And it was holding. And that's a big play on 3rd down right there, because that's going to force a punt.
Yep.
I think there's only been one pressure-packed drive in the game so far. Texas had to answer that score that A&M opened up this second half. They did, and now their defense, their much maligned defense, has got a big stop in the game. So this looks like it's going to be a football game all the way through.
You got that right, partner. And out comes a punter, Shane Leckler.
I really appreciate Dean putting me in the middle of that tradition thing with these A&M fans, too. Those private conversations are not very private, are they?
Nope. Leckler shows why he's got such a big leg. Mitchell backs up to the 21, goes down immediately. Special teams of Texas A&M, long another tradition. 47-yard kick and only a 2-yard return. We'll return after this timeout. Chip day next week. A week from tomorrow on ABC. Back here, it's 21-13. Texas A&M leading Texas now by a precarious 8-point margin. Remember, the first extra point of the game was missed, thus the 8-point differential with 6:16 left in the 3rd.
You wonder, as Texas continues to throw and James Brown is starting to feel comfortable throwing the ball, if Ricky Williams is in there more as a decoy or as a runner right now. We'll have to watch.
He's going to be a runner here, but he's not running very far. Nice job, Datwin and Philip Myers. The linebackers converge on the stop.
I think a healthy Ricky Williams that time would have tried to sprint that one to the outside. Yep. He did not give the outside a chance, and he does not look like he's 100%.
I don't think he's anywhere near it.
Now, and this is a very dangerous situation now. 3rd and long for Texas. Got the ball on your own 22-yard line. A&M comes with their nickel package. 2 young freshmen on the outside. Kyle Richardson and, Roland Bradley and Jason Glenn going to come and rush the passer.
See if they look to the tight end. Brown throws. White's got it. First down. First catch of the day for Brian White, the junior, a former walk-on, and that's a big play out to the 42-yard line.
Mike Hanklowitz, a coordinator for defense for A&M, brought the blitz that time. Shun Horn came off the slot, and James Brown stood in there and threw the deep square in for a first down. One of the biggest plays of the football game so far.
The youth on this wide receiver core and all the injuries they had earlier in the year, and James Brown said, I can't throw it like I used to. I used to know where my receivers would be. He says, I'm aiming too many passes.
Right. They have developed chemistry lately, but it's taken most of the year to do it.
Last 3 games, they've started to put it together. Here's Ricky Williams on a counter, broke into the 3 across the 50. Ricky Williams on a bad leg goes down to the 33-yard line. Boy, he is guts personified, and there's no California laid back in this kid out of San Diego.
That's what I heard, but I don't believe it. Came from California, running the counter action this time. Ricky Brown gets another big block this time on Cody to the outside, and Ricky Williams may not have that 4.4 sprint right now, but he's got a 4.3 heart.
And he's limping off again, but he just got another big gainer, and he's got 169 yards, and he again sets up the Texas offense in great shape. First down to the Aggie 33-yard line. 2 tight ends. Brown comes up throwing, incomplete, intended for Jamel Thompson, and broken up by Jason Webster.
Brad, you mentioned the wide receivers for Texas. That really got this team off slow. And then, without the inexperience at wide receiver, got the quarterbacks a little bit inconsistent, and it began to snowball on offense for this football team. When you throw in the struggles they've had on defense, you can understand why Texas has had such a tough year.
Well, they had Dustin Armstrong go down in the Rutgers game, and then their favorite receiver, Wayne McGarity, went out in the Rice game with a knee injury, and up popped those youngsters, Thompson and Cavill, and they've had to do, and they're getting better. This is going to be a loss of a yard for Hodges Mitchell. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. Chevrolet's awarded over $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. 3rd down and 11. This is the biggest play to this point of the ball game for the Texas Longhorns.
Well,
they trail by 8.
Last time in 3rd and long, Mike Hankwitz, defensive coordinator for A&M, came with the zone blitz. Let's see what he dials up this time.
Thompson and Cavill both up to the top of your screen, the 2 wideouts. Here comes a blitz again. They'll keep it on the ground this time, and they'll pay off with that blitz. Making the tackle was Brad Crowley, actually the defensive end who stopped Hodges Mitchell.
Very interesting from both teams that time, Brad. Texas did not go to 3 wideouts, and A&M stayed with their base defense. So what do you do against a base defense? You run a counter play. I don't quite get that one. Against the base defense, you want to throw. Against the nickel package, you want to run. I think that was a win by Hankwitz over Makovic that time in the calls.
And they're not going to gain much out of this punt, no matter where he puts it. That was Mike Hankwitz, you saw, covered up with the rain gear. The rain is intensifying again. Wind blowing from the left to the right. Schultes has to take a one-hopper again. A lazy kick. Let's see if they can cover it. Not quite. Nice attempt down there, but they couldn't get to it. And it's a touchback. Jenkins almost caught that one before he hit the end zone. 8-point Aggie lead. We'll be right back.
I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me.
As the years go by, some slow down and take it easy. Some don't.
Like a rock.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Like a rock.
National Car Rental presents the drive for the national championship. The year 1981. Clemson visits North Carolina in the first ACC battle between teams ranked in the top 10. The Tigers took an early 7-3 lead, and the defense, led by Jeff Davis, Terry Kennard, and William the Refrigerator Perry, held on for a 10-8 victory to help lead the Tigers to their first national championship.
Vacation travelers know that when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go, National Car Rental, especially if you're going to the happiest place on earth. Because as the official car rental company of Disneyland in Southern California, National gets you in your car and on the road fast. For a family vacation you'll never forget. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Disneyland with National Car Rental.
Welcome back to a wet Kyle Field where this is Dean Blevins on the sideline, and I just overheard Ricky Williams, the star running back for Texas, talking to an assistant coach for Texas, saying, you know, if that ankle hadn't been hurting me, I could have gone all the way for the touchdown, as Gary and Brad mentioned a moment ago. Right on, guys.
He's still out there trying, though, and he wants to get it back. Right now the defense for Texas will take the field.
You know what? He mentioned that also the assistant coach mentioned that he is playing on guts alone. They've not retaped that ankle, so it's as good as it's going to get right now, and he will just be playing on guts.
All right. The Aggies now with the 8-point lead start from their own 20-yard line. Dante Hall in there at tailback. He gets the call, and he only got back to the line of scrimmage. That's it.
We set up this game in the first half talking about A&M. No turnovers would make them good, and Texas needed to force A&M to pass. Well, A&M has done their part. No turnovers, and they put 21 points on the board. Only 2 pass attempts, but they've been able to run the ball. Texas's defense has not forced A&M into a passing game yet.
Let's see if they force a pass on 2nd and 10. Spiller, their tight end, has been one of their main targets today when they do throw. Here's Hall hitting the backfield, spun away from one, but not the other. Aaron Humphrey, defensive end, on 2nd effort makes the stop and a big loss.
Aaron Humphrey started this year out as a middle linebacker for Texas. It was a little bit of a disaster. He needed to move to defensive end where he felt more comfortable, and he's doing the job now. Coming in from the top of the screen, he forces wide. That was Nava that forced him wide, and then Humphrey eats it up from behind. That's good defensive end play by those two guys, those bookend defensive ends. Nava, who lines up at linebacker and defensive end, and Humphrey.
Are we going to see a pass now?
I think it'll be a very safe pass. I don't think so.
3rd down, 14. Nope. Straight up the middle. Very close to a first down is the fullback Hardiman.
Just short. I didn't think they'd throw. They just can't risk a turnover when you have to lead by 8 points.
And they might give him the sliding forward progress to the 30.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be 4th and very short. As middle linebacker that time, Dusty Renfro picked the wrong angle, and you could see where the ball landed 1 yard short of the line. They had to go past the line, 4th and less than a yard.
So that'll bring out Leckler, the punter.
Yeah, that was a good call. That's one of those calls when it doesn't work, everybody in the stand starts booing, but when it works, you're a genius.
Leckler's already hit one from 50, hit one of 51 yards today. Dual men back for Texas here. This is not a good punt. And they're going to have to clear out of the way. It'll still be nice field position for the Longhorns at their own 35-yard line. Only a 36-yard kick. Rain-drenched Kyle Field. If you're not wearing rain gear today, you're one of those guys that had a lot of eggnog last night with your turkey, and you just don't care.
You know, you go to a lot of places on a day like this when the game's nationally televised and you can pick it up. They might not show up, but not here in College Station. You got to come out and support this team that's going to the conference championship next week against Nebraska.
One of our championship triple header games next week from the Alamo Dome and San Antonio. That'll be 1 of 3 next week.
A&M still with 4 deep secondary people.
James Brown drops to throw on first down all day. Man opens Cavill, broken up. It just took too long to get there. It was a long out to Cavill, and Brandon Jennings broke it up.
That was a very dangerous throw, probably the most dangerous of the game.
Colorado State and New Mexico will start things off on Championship Saturday next week at 1 o'clock a week from tomorrow. Then the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship I just mentioned, and the SEC title game presented by Dr. Pepper from the Georgia Dome. That's our triple header next week on ABC Sports. 2nd down and 10. 3 wide out group as Brian White comes in on a slot to the right side.
Ricky Brown is in. Ricky Williams is not.
And James Brown to throw. Oh, a dangerous pass and broken up. Trent Driver, and he was diving and driving and knocked it away.
Trent Driver, Dat Wynn, and Sean Coriat are the 3 rotating inside linebackers. Really, Dat Wynn stays on the field almost 100% of the time, but Coriat and Trent Driver kind of rotate in there. Sean Coriat, if the name sounds familiar, had a big brother that played here named Quentin.
Now, Indianapolis Colt in first-round draft choice. 3rd and 10. The run, Ricky Williams goes across the 40 out to the 42-yard line, and no quitting number 11.
Now both teams using the same strategy right now in this game. 3rd and long. They don't want to have a turnover, lose the game. Right now it's punt the football and let maybe the other team make the next mistake in this game. Brad, the last 2 punts have dribbled back to the punter, though.
And
the snaps
have been tough for Schultes. He's handled them all, and you do just kind of wait and wait and wait and wait for that ball to squirt loose from somebody on a fumble or an interception. It hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Jay Humphrey's going to snap this one. We'll look from right behind Schultes. Low again. He handles it again, and he got away a nice kick.
Oh, this is going to pin him deep.
Got to get there, and they do get there. It's going to roll dead at the 3-yard line. Wow, what a kick. 56 yards and no return. We'll return with 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter in a moment. remaining in the third quarter. It's 21-13, and the Aggies are pinned deep in their own territory.
They're pinned deep because A&M has failed to employ a strategy that Texas is using, namely putting two guys back there. Dante Hall this time is on the right side of your screen, the bottom right side of your screen. Because it was so slippery, he couldn't get to the punt. It cost them about 20 yards of field position. In this type of weather, I've always believed in twin returners back there to catch the ball.
Texas used that last time. Now Bevo's gotten dried off and has decided to come back and join us.
Yeah, it's a good game now. They're throwing the ball.
Yeah, right. It's a close game.
Right. He had to get the concession stands anyway right before halftime.
We know he didn't have a hamburger.
That's right.
From the 3. Hand off, first man, safe play. Hardiman only got about a yard. Boy, he's been huge today, though, with those runs up the middle. Tiki Hardiman.
He has, and that's really good coaching and good play calling by the A&M offense. Steve Marshall, the new coordinator, has taken advantage of those young defensive tackles for Texas.
We've played 3. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. With all the transmission problems we had in the first half, don't adjust your vertical hold right now. This is a thing that goes on between the third and fourth quarters here at Kyle Field.
They don't sit down around here at all, do they?
No, you wouldn't want to have like the Dr. Scholl's business, I don't think, in Bryan or College Station, would you?
Oh, I'll tell you what you wouldn't want to do around here is you wouldn't want to sell seat cushions.
Nobody sits.
That's right.
You just saw our getaway plane flying in. And we're flying to the fourth quarter.
As loud as it's gotten, the Texas defense is urging the A&M fans to be even louder. They're soaking it all in. They're loving it. There's nothing better if you're a football player to go on the road and beat somebody in their own house.
And where the Aggies are is where the Texas band is. They're going to make it difficult on Brandon Stewart down there at his own 5-yard line to hear the call. 2nd down and 8 from the 5. Second man is Hall, and he's all wrapped up, maybe a yard. That's it. Nava is there.
Brandon Nava's had a huge football game. Just a sophomore playing an outside linebacker. He's been making plays in the backfield and stuffing that run game when he's in that stack position like he was that time.
Here comes a huge and dangerous 3rd down.
Remember how well Brandon Stewart throws on the run. Let's see if they get him out of the pocket and try to make something happen, either run, pass.
2 tight ends set. The lone wideouts in motion. No first down there. They're going to have to give it up. Dusty Renfro made the stop on Dante Hall.
With that 8-point lead, R.C. Slocum and Steve Marshall, this first-year offensive coordinator, are playing it close to the vest. They're still waiting for the big first mistake to happen. And if you look at the track record, the guys you're playing against are second to last in the country in turnover margin.
2 straight 3-and-outs for A&M, but this is the first time Leckler's been in a tough spot to punt from. Oh, and he got away a nice kick. Hodges Mitchell on the run at the 45, broke a tackle, midfield. Hodges Mitchell inside the 40, all the way to the 30-yard line. What a return by the little guy. 25-yard run back of a 45-yard kick.
You know, with all the things on this type of a field, to not only catch the ball, but run through that first tackle, regain your perspective, and then turn on the juice right there. That is the type of play that the Longhorns are starting to feel it, as Hodges Mitchell's going to bring this one right back at you.
Longest punt return allowed by the Aggies this year is set the Longhorns up in great shape inside the Texas A&M 30-yard line. Ricky Williams back in there for Texas in the backfield. In a split formation with Ricky Brown. Play action, swing pass, incomplete, intended for Ricky Williams.
James Brown has just ducked his head. He was so upset with himself. It's still conditions with a wet football. It's more difficult to handle those quick passes, those timing passes to the flat like that than it is to throw the ball downfield. Brown now, after that big completion, has missed his last 4.
2nd down and 10.
You can really see how the game plan has changed as Ricky Williams has gotten injured. The running plays just aren't there to the outside.
Coleman now is his fullback. He'll try to follow him, but Ricky goes down for a loss. Nice penetration there by the Aggie defense. They had 3 maroon jerseys around the ball, including that guy Crowley. Let's check in with Dean.
Guys, the wind down, the energy up. I haven't seen Texas with this much energy on the sideline in many weeks. And it is drier. There's 1 football left dry in this entire stadium. Texas has it. They said they'll put it in at the end of the game if they need it.
I thought you said somebody was going to autograph it and keep it over there. Here's a long 3rd down situation. Ricky Williams broke the first tackle, cuts inside the 25. Boy, he almost picked up that first down. What he did do is put Dawson in field goal position.
You are correct, sir. That's exactly what he did, and that's one of those play calls that you use when you have a kicker as good as Dawson.
Going to be about a 39 or 40 yarder for Dawson, and we've talked about how good he's been this year and how good he's been in his career. Their all-time leading scorer setting up from 39 yards out. He's fairly automatic from here, but this is a huge kick for him.
Huge snap.
They got the snap and the hold, and Dawson got the kick, and he got it. 12 minutes, 15 seconds remaining, and it gets tighter and tighter in the 4th quarter in the battle between the Aggies and the Longhorns. In front of John's name every time we do one of his games. We talked with him about it yesterday, but since that UCLA game, quite frankly, this guy's name has been on the rumor mill and his head on the chopping block, and it's too bad you have to go through a football season that way.
And I think that's what Dean was referring to on the sideline. This team being so fired up is a testament, and Ricky Williams has been very public in his support of John Mackovic, saying that this guy's a good football coach, and by the way they're playing today, they expect him to be the coach of the future. It'll be real interesting to see what happens.
That's a live ball, finally picked up at the 27, and the ball almost came loose. And when you talk about Ricky Williams has said that whether or not he goes to the National Football League may hinge on John Mackovic's return. He's been solidly behind his coach. And, of course, John last year had the Big 12 championship with the play and the 4th down call against Nebraska. And you kind of wonder if you can get stupid over 8 months' time as a coach.
No, you can't. You're right.
Been a tough year, though. And he says, I've tried to stay above it, but...
Although there's been some stupidity in the situation, I'll have to say that.
Yeah, you're right about that. From the 32, 1st down. This is a good football game. That part we know. Stewart hasn't thrown much, and he's throwing deep here, and he's got a man, and he just missed him. Chris Cole had a step back there, and you wonder, had Brandon Stewart thrown more passes today, if he would have been a little more accurate on that one, because he had his man out there.
So what do you do if you're a quarterback? You got a wet ball. Now you're going downwind. You got a guy wide open, and you overthrow him by that much. When you miss, if you don't have a tennis racket, you look at your tennis racket. Now you look at your hand.
You got to look at your hand.
That was the first pass on 1st down for the whole game for A&M.
2nd and 10 now from the 32.
Texas is misaligned. They got a receiver wide open here.
At the 35, it's complete, and it's going to be close to a 1st down to Leroy Hodge out in the flat.
Texas had, A&M had 2 receivers to the wide side of the field. A&M only sent 1 corner over there. Look at, there's only 1 corner to the bottom of the screen, 3 of them to the top. Put a guy in motion. There's nobody there to cover him. A&M gets a free 1st down.
You got to be yelling help, 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 help out there.
The only guy to help was on the southern side of the field.
It's a 1st down. They move the chains out to the 43-yard line. Aggies leading by 5 with just under 12 minutes left in the ball game. Here comes Hardiman. This time pretty tough sledding for Tiki. Ran into Dusty Renfrew, who's still holding on to his jersey.
It appears that Bobby Jack Wright, the defensive coordinator, has said, guys, we have to stop the fullback inside. If we don't stop Hardiman running the ball inside, we can forget about our good defensive play and our pursuit angles and everything. Defensive tackles, Woodward, Mosier, you have to stop the fullback first, and then we move on from there. Hardiman has 85 yards. That's way too much from the fullback.
Yep. 2nd down and 8 from the 45 for Texas A&M. 2 tight ends set. Here he comes again, and he got out to about the 49-yard line. You showed Bobby Jack Wright down there, the defensive coordinator for Texas, and you just about have to have two names to be a coach in the state, don't you, Dean?
Well, you really do. You know, you think back of some of the great names in Texas and Texas A&M football lore. What about Bill Boy Bryant? Huh? You remember over here for A&M, you got Billy Bob Barnett, of course. He played back in the 60s. Billy Ray Smith over to Arkansas, and Bobby Joe. You remember Bobby Joe played in Southwest Conference.
Sure.
Hey, how about the two Tongans, though? They're changing things up.
That changes everything a little bit.
Yeah.
3rd down and 5. 3 wide out set for Stewart. Pass is incomplete.
I'm not a big believer in momentum in a football game, but right now Texas feels like they have the energy to stop this A&M football team. They don't believe that Brandon Stewart is going to beat him with the pass. They're daring him now, and what I set up as a profile early in the game is starting to come about. Texas is praying that A&M will throw the ball.
Leckler to punt.
Oh, man.
He's got a wicked leg, doesn't he? And a fumble on the end of the punt return. Still loose.
Wow.
It's Texas football. Oh, that would have been huge. Mitchell, of course, on the last one had the shoestring catch and the 25-yard return. Here he put one on the turf, but the Longhorns got it back. The beginning of the game, terrible conditions. Even Revelle's got his own rain parka. You got to love that. Keep the dog dry. The Aggies.
If there's only one parka, Reveille gets it.
He gets it. Yeah, the cadets don't get anything down there. 5-point Aggie lead, but Texas has the ball back from the 12-yard line. Ricky Williams playing on a bad ankle, still playing and still in the Texas backfield, and here he comes. And there he goes. Nice job defensively, and I tell you what, Trent Drivers put together quite a second half from his linebacker position.
Ricky Williams cannot get outside. It's the same play in the first half. He could get there. He just can't get there now.
Time's going to start to become a factor here pretty soon. We're under 10 minutes. At the 13-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Clayton comes in as the fullback in front of Williams now. Both wideouts to the bottom of your screen. That's the way James Brown's going to look. Now he tucks it in, and he's going to go down to the line of scrimmage. They're not letting him loose. Philip Myers made the stop from his linebacker spot. Don't forget, America's biggest road show rolls on Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Penn State and Michigan State, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Check your local listings for the games in your area, or call your cable operator and find out what's on ESPN Game Plan. And then the Skins, 4 of America's top players, including Tiger Woods, coming up tomorrow at 4:30, 1:30 Pacific time. That's all on ABC Sports. Everybody on their feet now. 3rd down and 9. Fans are getting tired. You notice they sat down just for a second in front of us. Now they're back up. There go draw play. And Brown, the fullback, broke a couple of tackles. He almost cut it out for a 1st down. He's 2 yards short. Ricky Brown that time.
Still neither coaching staff willing to give in this football game. 3rd and very long that time. Texas said, hey, let's punt the ball. Let's get out of here. Let's see what our defense can do. 5-point game. If they don't score again, we're going to get the ball back in plenty of time.
Schultes has done such a nice job today, many times having to scoop the snap off the turf and then getting away the kick. But he's got one wicked guy waiting on it. If Dante Oliver gets his hands on a punt return, you have to hold your breath. Schultes again, bad snap, picks it up, and he got another one away somehow.
Oh, my goodness.
And look at the bounce it takes for Texas. Down to the 44. It's still great field position, but let me tell you, it's better than the 5-yard line.
Jay Humphrey is having a nightmare. Schultes is saving him. He's waking him up just in time. A 36-yard punt, but that doesn't tell half the story. This one's worth about 56 yards because where he kicks it is from the 4-yard line. That's where A&M would have had the ball had he not gotten rid of it. What a play.
That is one punter that is getting his winning his scholarship here today.
You bet. Whew. He could run for center today.
We already got a couple of them here. They'll put it down just on the Aggie side of the 45-yard line.
You know, both teams making all the plays. No one's making the big mistake. Really fun to watch.
Best starting field possession of the day for Texas A&M with a 5-point lead. Play action. Here's the throw. Tight end's got it. Broke a tackle. Campbell down the sideline. Look at him rumble. Takes it down the sideline for 37 yards.
The running game had not been working. This is only the second pass on first down the entire game for the Aggies. A very safe play. Remember, A&M hasn't thrown an interception in over about 165, 70 passes. Very safe to the big guy. It's almost like a long handoff, and they got big yardage out of it.
Well, that's his longest ever, 37 yards. And in the red zone again are the Aggies at the 18 of Texas. Inside the 15's Tiki Hardeman. He has been one busy fullback today.
This is the third completion to a tight end. Bottom of the screen, your tight end. The big guy, Dan Campbell, fakes a block and then just runs out to the flat. Should have been tackled very easily for a nothing play by McCowan, but they slips that one, and Babineau was the only guy there to save a touchdown.
Campbell lines up on the right side.
Texas has to have a stop, at least for a field goal.
Second down 6. They're thinking about a blitz. Here they come. Toss sweep now. Parker waits on his blockers, and boy, did he get tattooed by Dwight Kirkpatrick and Aaron Humphrey. It's Aaron Humphrey that made the hit 49.
It was, but Brandon Nava again was the guy, again, getting upfield and forcing that play around. You know, these A&M tight ends are both very good blockers. Steve Marshall told us he wouldn't trade either one of them for any two tight ends around. And that time Nava just got in the backfield and forced the play up.
If Texas can stop this third down, it would be an 8-point game even if the Aggies hit the field goal. Whistles. They blow this one dead. If it's on A&M, it's going to be 3rd and 9 instead of 3rd and 4.
Well, you would almost want to bet, as the game has progressed, if they stay true to form, it is going to be a very safe call to the left in the middle of the field and try to make this an 8-point game again.
I got a feeling number 20 will handle it.
Absolutely.
Texas A&M, like Texas, has a great field goal kicker. And if they only get 3 out of this, there's Steve Marshall. If they only get 3, they would lead by 8, and we're approaching the 6-minute mark remaining. 3rd down and 9. Perfect today for Texas A&M. They're going to have to earn this one. They fake the handoff inside and come with the end around, and they've got it 1st and goal.
What a call. Steve Marshall fakes the inside play, fakes it to Parker with one hand, coming back the other way. And when Chase Cole gets out there, too many guys from Texas slipping, and Cole wasn't. A huge first down in the football game.
And a Longhorn down as well.
Well, he caught me by surprise with that one, and that's what a good play caller does. He grabs a play that is safe. That was still a safe running play. Not much could happen wrong here, but a play that only one Texas defender was in a position to stop, and Cole was just too elusive to pick up the first down.
And one of the guys trying to make the stop on him is still down at the 18-yard line. Michael Bodwin, who was the guy slipping out there from his defensive end spot trying to get a hand on Cole. Reminder, ESPN college football coming up tomorrow. They got a doubleheader. Virginia Tech in Virginia. And there's a couple of teams in need of a victory. Cavaliers need one to maybe get themselves a bowl berth. Virginia Tech ranked 21st. And then Notre Dame. They could get their 7th win of the season after that rocky start. They take on Hawaii. That's doubleheader college football tomorrow on ESPN.
Bodwin was the only guy there playing, staying at home that time on that reverse, but one outside defensive end is not going to stop Cole on that play.
It's 1st and goal, Texas A&M at the Longhorn, just outside the 5. And if they get a touchdown here, that might just do it. Everybody in tight. Extra tight ends, extra blockers, and bouncing off the first hit, but it didn't do him any good, is Parker, and he comes up with a big loss. McCowan from the secondary helping out on the stop.
I'm not sure who it was that stuffed the play to begin with. I think it might have been Aaron Humphrey, the defensive end, that just got into the backfield and blew the play up before it got going. And then as the loss of yards became greater and greater as the A&M running back tried to gain more yards to the outside.
A huge loss on the play. 2nd and goal now, but it's backed up to the 13-yard line. That was an 8-yard loss on the play. This might totally change what they'll do here. Let's wait and see.
I don't think so.
Hardeman. That's what we expected the last time they had that big 3rd down, and this time they take it back inside the 10 to the 8. Don't forget, 2nd-ranked Cornhuskers and the Buffaloes of Colorado from Folsom Field in Boulder. Pete Jackson and Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan will have that one for you when we're done here in College Station. 4:25 remaining. It's a 5-point game, and it's a must-stop time again for the Texas defense.
We don't ever root for either side. After 8 years of this, you just enjoy a good game, but you sure would like to see this be an 8-point game rather than be over. It's just too good to be over.
That's
right.
Well, that's what the Longhorns are hoping for. Here comes a blitz. Hardeman to about the 4-yard line. And now that we would assume, is going to bring out the field goal unit.
Oh, you would have to do that if you're A&M. You have to kick a field goal and make this an 8-point game. You have no choice.
Kyle Bryant comes out.
Cutsy stopped by a defense that has been maligned and run on all year to get a stop at this end of the field right there.
Remember how key the snaps and the holds are in this case. Sometimes a holder in these games, like Bill Johnston here, is important as the kicker. Kyle Bryant, he's a career point king for Texas A&M, and 15 out of 19 on the field goals this year. And the kick is up and good. It is an 8-point game. We're not done playing yet. 3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining. Everything's got to be perfect in bad conditions. In that case, they were.
Budweiser withstood the test of time. It has over 120-year heritage. That heritage is there for one simple reason: because of the people behind the brand Budweiser, and most importantly, because quality was never compromised. Beer is like a food, and just like any natural food with no additives and preservatives, fresh food does indeed taste better. A beer is the best it will ever be when it leaves the brewery. You can look exactly at how fresh Budweiser is through our born-on dating system. It tells you when that product was made and how fresh that product is in the marketplace. There's a lot of pride and tradition in the beer business, and that's what we're about. We're about people, about families, and about selling the highest quality beer products in the world.
Can lightweight aluminum cylinder heads enhance engine performance? Is it possible to see the future in a rear-view mirror? If race cars inspired us to use a double wishbone suspension, can you handle that? These are the questions. This is the answer. Dodge Stratus. Starting under 14.4, 18.4 impressively equipped.
James Brown's going to get a chance to handle a football again. 3:19 left. He's been talking the talk, Dean Blevins, for a couple years. We'll see if he can walk the walk.
You know, last year Texas had the big win, and he said in the he talked to the Big 12 media luncheon earlier this summer. He said, you know, pre-game they looked back then like they weren't ready to play. He looked in their eyes and said that. And Brendan Stewart comes back, the quarterback over here for A&M, says, hey, I don't know what kind of power James has to read the players' eyes, but I don't try to do that kind of analysis before games.
Little John going on.
Well, let me talk about an analysis for a quarterback right now. You're a senior quarterback. You're James Brown. You have a ton of passing records for Texas. You trade it all for one 8-point drive to beat A&M.
We'll find out in a minute if he can do it. Hodges mishandles the kick. It goes in the end zone, and James Brown and the Texas offense will be 80 yards away with 3:13. Their full complement of timeouts, and they're down, as Gary said, by 8 points. So the 104th battle between the Horns and the Aggies is going to go down to the last series, it looks like. And that's what we hope for, and that's what we got.
What really is a tribute to these players is there has not been one big miscue in this football game by any of these players. They have played sound football.
First down, Texas from its own 20. Brown one step and fires outside. Complete. Ball came loose, but it was completed out to Jamel Thompson. Short gain, maybe 4. And Jason Webster. Actually, it's only going to be about a 1-yard game because the ball popped out of bounds at the 21 or 2-yard line, depending on how they spot this one.
You can almost how ironic this situation is. John Mackovic embattled all year long, rumors swirling about his job, yet he has to depend on 2 freshman receivers to bring his team back here with 3 minutes to go in the football game.
They put it down at the 22. Second down and 8. James Brown over the middle, threw it behind his intended receiver. And that was Lewis, the tight end.
James Brown has not done a very good job of throwing the short pass of this football game. As you see, he keeps peeking downfield to see who was open. That time he had Ricky Williams open to the other side, but he seems to have been throwing behind a lot of receivers. He needs to throw the ball downfield.
Is the Texas season down to 2 plays? We're about ready to find out. Third down and 8. Brown from the shotgun, under pressure down the middle. He's got a man wide open to the 35, out to the 40. Fumble. A&M's got it. Hasn't been a miscue all day, as Gary said. There's the first one, and it's huge.
Kwame Cavill is the wide receiver. Brown out of the shotgun, throws downfield, up into the pocket, and puts it right there. Now watch Kwame try to change the ball around, gets hit from behind, and that's when most of the fumbles happen. But I'll tell you, a great bit of teammanship right there from Ben Adams. One of his teammates went up to Kwame and said, hey, the game is not over. We have 3 timeouts. The defense can still force a stop here.
Jason Webster, the guy that recovered the fumble. First turnover of the day comes with 2:53 left in the game. Here's a toss, and it's Dante Hall. And Hall goes to the 36-yard line, got about 7. Donald McCowan from the secondary made the stop. And time is an Aggie ally right now with 2:36 and the clock running.
Texas has had that bugaboo of turnovers all season. How ironic. With 3 minutes to go in the game, it pops its head up now.
As Dean said before the game started, they were 111th in the country out of 112 teams in turnover margin and went all day without one until just now. And that's why I guess Texas A&M is on the plus side and one of the best in the country. Here's Hardiman, the fullback. First down run. And more. Hardiman won't be denied. I think you can start printing out your Chevrolet most valuable player for Texas A&M.
A smallish, at least in height, fullback, but a guy who runs as strong. Look at the size of his legs and great balance on this sloppy, wet field. What a play. Might be the play that wins the football game if A&M doesn't turn the ball over, as Texas has to use one of their timeouts.
Look at the numbers on Tiki Hardiman. Everybody calls him Tiki except Mom. She prefers DeAndre. I think she'd even call him Tiki today. 1:54 remaining. The Aggies lead by 8. You wonder what can be said into that headset microphone for John Mackovic right now.
There's nothing you can say except that the Texas defense must tackle the ball If you're Brandon Stewart, you are reminding your players, no penalties, 2 hands on the football, anything but a turnover.
The Longhorns had won the last 2 in this series. It dates back to the 1800s, but this one looks like it's going to go to the maroon and white Aggies with 1:54 left. And Stewart brings them up. Hardeman and Hall behind him in an I backfield. They toss it to Hall. And Hall cuts out and
went down
stays in bounds.
Yeah, it went down just before he got out of bounds. That'll force Texas to use another timeout.
I was going to say I was a little bit shocked with a toss sweep in that instance, but I guess the pitch was safe. They felt it was anyway. Don't forget, Nebraska, Colorado follows us.
Actually, this is a pretty good strategy by Texas not to call a timeout here because they still have to do it after 3rd down, save 1.
Stewart looks to the sideline, and it's 2nd down and 9 at the 19. Hardeman got about 2. And the clock works its way under a minute.
I don't understand this. I don't know what you're saving your timeouts and up for now. They do have 2, don't they?
There it is, 2 timeouts left.
Boy, I don't get this strategy.
They apparently want the timeouts to try to take it down the field, but I don't know what good it's going to do them. They're down 8 points now.
I don't get it. What they have to hope for is either a missed field goal or they have
a blocked
to get
field goal.
Right.
First, they need a stop. It's 3rd and 7. Everybody in the box, up close, as Hardeman goes to the 14, and now I would assume Texas is going to take a timeout.
See,
Still not a timeout.
I don't quite get that. It's 4th down. You're going to finish the game here with 1 timeout in your pocket.
Well, now they can only hope, I guess, to block the kick or have A&M miss a kick if the Aggies even choose to try a field goal.
Well, that's a good point. I don't even think you do. Now, remember, after the change of possession, the clock will stop anyway.
That's right. So that's a conversation now on the sideline. Steve Marshall and R.C. Slocum. R.C. Slocum right now is 19 seconds away from becoming the winningest coach in Aggie history. He had 82 coming in. That's what he'll be in a few seconds if nothing goes haywire. Well, they bring out the field goal unit.
Remember Purdue against Michigan State at a similar play like this. Nick Saban told his team, if we just don't get it blocked and return for a touchdown, we can't lose.
Kyle Bryant's already hit 1 today. If he hits this 31-yarder, this game is over.
Even if he misses it, he's going.
He got it. And there's no 11-point plays in college football in 15 seconds.
Nope.
The Aggies will go to the Alamo Dome with a 9-2 record to meet the 2nd-ranked Cornhuskers and a happy group of Aggies on the sideline.
Well, R.C. Slocum reshuffled his staff this year, added some new coordinators, and went back to basics, and it has paid off for him. I don't think this is a vintage Texas A&M football team, but is an improvement over what they had a year ago, and he's got them back on the right track.
Quite frankly, a lot of people feel they had better talent last year and ended up 6-6. Not as good a talent this year, but a better job by that guy and his staff, and they're 9-2.
And I think it's much more of a team atmosphere here. Yep. I think one of the things early in the year when he was rotating quarterbacks, there was no star system. They're playing 2 or 3 backs. A lot of the guys are saying, hey, it's the team first. Nothing about pro football in this team, and nice season for A&M.
Definitely. And a dejected quarterback on the other side looking on. Last year, 4 touchdown passes in a Texas rout. And today on the Aggies' home field, it's been anything but a picture-perfect day for James Brown and the Longhorns.
Not much separating these 2 teams. Both of them acquitted themselves very well today. One crucial mistake.
just nails the kickoff.
Might as well run it out.
Mitchell decides, might as well, and he only got to the 15.
Guess who made the tackle?
Franson, the 12th man, with another hit.
What a way to end a football game if you're Chad Franson, the 12th man, one of the great traditions of college football, and he gets a shot to end a football game.
Well, the Longhorns have about 2 plays left. It's not going to matter no matter what they come up with. And the 12th man was a factor today. The weatherman was a bit of a factor, but these two teams seem to play through that giant hurdle and played near perfect football turnover-wise until the last time the Longhorns had it. They fumbled. That led to that hit. Shun Horn just hooked him with his horn. And that puts a little exclamation point on the game, too, doesn't it?
Well, Texas A&M has 8 people drop back now. They're just watching it throw. And you can see James Brown go over to his receiver that time, Ricky Brown, and say, I'm sorry, man. You know, I didn't want to drive you into that wall. There's just, I got to throw it, and you were the unlucky guy that I threw it to on that one.
Now, Homer Norton's a Hall of Fame college coach who won 82 games as the head man of the Aggies of Texas A&M. But R.C. Slocum's name is going to move to the top of that list now as the handoff goes to Ricky Brown, and the fullback takes it out to the 24 as the game comes to a close. Our players of the game: Ricky Williams from Texas, a huge game on a bad leg, 183 yards and a couple touchdowns. And Tiki DeAndre for his mom Hardeman of Texas A&M, 121 yards and a touchdown. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. It's been a Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter of a century. Well, this one's been a college football tradition for more than a century, and the 104th battle between the Aggies and the Longhorns was indeed a dandy. Kyle Bryant with the field goal that was the final margin of victory. And on a day of tradition and a weekend of tradition, how about the 12th man making yet another tackle? Chad Franson put the stop on Texas, and the Aggies put the bath on R.C. Slocum, his 83rd win as the head man at Texas A&M. 27-16 the final. The Aggies riding high over the Longhorns.